Only the perfect shell can complete your bond. Download Ethereal Restart. Your shell is waiting.
夢は何を映すもの？予言？導き？それとも心の叫び？夢に溺れる人を大勢見てきた。悪夢の中で泣き叫ぶ人たちも皆恐れ堕落し、夢の養分となった。彼らは螺旋に続く回廊を前に夢の言葉に耳を塞いだの。それでも私は意志を背負い進むわ。変えるために運命も未来も私が導く。
Come on, brother. No shame in losing to your sister. I am 1,000 times stronger after all.
Don't feel bad. Most people can handle me.
Big talk from the guy who was always getting beat up.
Let's see when this is all over.
Whatever you say, cry baby.
Cry baby? You're calling me cry baby?
Crying soon.
And that's the band pick. Heinrich and Lilith are off the table. Match incoming.
Know what a safe slot is? I'm about to wipe the floor with them.
Wipe the floor with us? Guess you didn't see your lineup just got encountered.
Next time, take the front line. Download Ethereal Restart. Win your way to the top.
安らかに眠ってベレッタ。敵は撃つわ。マーベル、あなたは残って全部任せてちょうだい。眠ってなさい。待っていたわよ、角度。
ここまでよ。
乱暴な男は嫌われるわよ。あなたの茶番はこれで終わり。
Welcome all Hyperlinkers. Join the 2025 EWS Global Invitational. This is Etherea's first global, highest-level esports competition. Players must demonstrate professional gameplay, strategic analysis, and mental fortitude to claim victory. Champion, $15,000. Runner-up, $7,000. Top 4, semi-finalists, $4,000 each. The competition will progress through 3 stages to crown the ultimate champion. Online qualifiers, playoffs, and the grand finals. 128 players from dozens of countries worldwide competed in the online qualifiers. After 2 intense days and 7 rounds of Swiss system matches, the top 8 players have advanced to the playoffs. The playoffs and grand finals will be held offline in Shanghai, China on July 19th through 20th. On the first competition day, the 8 playoff players will battle it out in a single elimination bracket. The final 2 players will advance to the grand finals to compete. The last day, these 2 players will compete for the first EWS Global Invitational Champion. The champion will earn the right to face a mystery legendary star in a special showdown. Additionally, the offline event will feature an invitational show match. 6 special guests from 3 major global regions will be divided into 2 teams for an entertaining exhibition match. What kind of spectacular moments will unfold on stage? Who will become the strongest hyperlinker of the first Etheria World Summit Global Invitational? Stay tuned for the incredible performances of the EWS Hyperlinker in 2025.
Hello, my name is Gotcha Smack. I'm a content creator on both YouTube and Twitch.
Hi, I'm Shizo from the Netherlands, also content creator on both YouTube and Twitch.
I'm Jamer Studio from Thailand.
We're all excited to be here in Shanghai, China for the international tournament for Etheria Restart, and it's been truly an honor and a privilege to get to meet some of the other players and share their passion and joy for the game.
Hello, I'm YDCB.
Hello guys, I'm Limu TV.
Hey guys, I'm Mr. Pokey.
And we are so glad to be able to finally meet you Etheria Restart fans. I hear we have a lot of you supporting our team, so we're going to make sure not to let you down.
ก็ชอบทีมเร็วนะแต่ว่าเกมนี้เนี่ยก็จะมีทีมหลายแบบมากนะครับทีมเร็วเนี่ยผมชอบเพราะว่ามันค่อนข้างจะจบได้เร็วเคลียร์แมตช์ได้เร็วไฟนอลได้ค่อนข้างเร็วนะครับแต่ต่อปลายเกมแล้วเนี่ยผมก็จะชอบทีมถึกแหละเพราะว่าก็ตามเมตากรรมตามกลยุทธ์ของเกมนะครับผมประมาณนี้
100% Gamba player. That's the whole point of playing gacha games, right? It's the thrill of gambling and winning, right? Take a risk and win. That is the best feeling ever.
Well, to be honest, in fitness, it's a test of courage, strength, and perseverance. I look forward to seeing these attributes in my competitors, in particular, Mr. Pokey.
I think one of the favorite scores I've been trying is in PvP is Revelation. So I basically use Revelation for all of my supports. So when they ban away the Mio or the Lilies, if I go for Revelation on Freya, on Kazuyo, she just do so much damage. Even the enemy run blood buff, they just don't stand a chance.
So the strategy of animals that I like to use are mostly swift rush based, so very fast units outspeeding the enemy, but I also love to use Borg because Borg gives me that immunity. And immunity gives me the edge. If the opponent does outspeed me, I can still take my victory by denying all of those stuns, sleeps, or anything that could come my way.
The most important things in the game, especially in RTA, so PvP, I think it's draft and the game. Like, it's 50-50. Like, the draft is so many important to just counter the opponents.
Well, I've seen the lineup of the enemy team, but none of them actually seem that challenging. Maybe YCB, but the other ones, I think are definitely takeable.
They think they are gonna win, but they are gonna just watch us to destroy them.
Get break and taking the win, period. All I want to say to you is luck may grace you again.
I don't even remember who we're playing against because these are nobody, so we could take the win anyways.
I was supposed to trash out them, but I just think that it's just going to be a joke of a fiesta, so yep.
I look forward to playing Mr. Pokey in this tournament, but after I'm done with him, his name will be Mr. Choke.
I'm Kecker. I've been playing this game since the beta. My friend first introduced me and I got into the game and it's been really fun so far. 99% of the results is determined before the game even starts, and it's in the draft, it's in the strategies and everything. I'm Kecker. My opponents, they're just losers.
My in-game name is Pore. Well, my greatest strengths are the same as my strategy. I think I'm just faster than everyone here, and I also have the wider roster of units. I don't think they can match my speed, to be honest. I feel like they won't even have a chance to even move before I win.
My name is Sarun. It's my first gacha game. I'm a TCG player. I'm good during the drafting phase. I can predict the lineup in advance. Good luck to us.
I'm Rilio. I play Etheria Restart for the first time at the last test beta, and after I start playing Day 1, I play mostly Cleaver Group. so I got a lot of speed on most units possible, and I like to finish the game quickly. I like to cleave people and to finish the game pretty fast. I'm pretty sure I can finish in one turn anyone on this tournament if I draft correctly.
I'm Youngho. I play Ethereal Restart since the start of the game, and I really enjoy playing the Summit Arena the most. My greatest strength compared to other players would be my confidence going into every draft. So I've always been at the top of the leaderboard in Summit Arena, and I am here to prove why I'm the best Hyperlinker here.
So my name is Mojin. It's to say my main strength and my ability to analyze my opponent's strategy right from the draft phase. I just want to have fun.
My name is Shining. I'm here for the competition, and I play gacha games since a lot of years. Yeah, it's probably my favorite type of game. I think I'm not that fast, but I'm solid like a rock. You know my name. Get ready to be outshined.
I'm Han. It's great to be back here in my home country. My greatest strength is my calm and cold-bloodedness. Even a lifetime of training wouldn't be enough for my opponents. This isn't going to be a competition, but just a demonstration of my skills.
年轻人们，赢下我，你们才有资格说自己站在巅峰。
Solid squad. DPS. Healer. CC. We're locked in. Wait, swapped already? Bold move. But Leon can steal turn meter. We're good. Again? What kind of team comp is this? If I'm in, we win! You're swapping me out now? What were you thinking? I'm AoE.
This map truly work?
I am the damage. No rush. Your dream team takes time. Download now and get SSR Lingluo for free.
"深海タワーに行かずこんなところで関東だなんてもう深海グループはルパートの手中に落ちたわあなた今の自分の境遇を分かってる?ええご心配には及びません私にも考えがあります
奴を捕らえろ決してあそこに近づけさせるな
あなた方だけでですかカマキリセミを伺い傍若後にあり存分に策を練りなさいルパート私の運命は私が決めるあなたにはその貪欲と傲慢の代償を払ってもらいますやっとおいでになられたのですね裁判官先生
Just give up! Save your words. I'm not letting her go.
She'll never make you happy!
No! Every second with her was pure joy. You wouldn't get it!
Look at you! Pathetic!
Go! Show me what you're made of! Finish this! I told you to finish him! Knew I could count on you. There was some slick work a little come.
Only the perfect shell can complete your bond. Download Ethereal Restart. Your shell is waiting.
夢は何を映すもの？予言？導き？それとも心の叫び？夢に溺れる人を大勢見てきた。悪夢の中で泣き叫ぶ人たちも皆恐れ堕落し、夢の養分となった。彼らは螺旋に続く回廊を前に夢の言葉に耳を塞いだの。それでも私は意志を背負い進むわ。変えるために運命も未来も私が導く。
Come on, brother. No shame in losing to your sister. I am 1,000 times stronger after all.
Don't feel bad. Most people can handle me.
Big talk from the guy who was always getting beat up.
Let's see when this is all over.
Whatever you say, cry, baby.
Cry, baby? You're calling me a cry, baby?
Crying soon.
And that's the band pick. Heinrich and Lilith are off the table. Match incoming.
Know what a safe slot is? I'm about to wipe the floor with them.
Wipe the floor with us? Guess you didn't see your lineup just got encountered.
Next time, take the front line. Download Ethereal Restart. Win your way to the top.
安らかに眠ってベレッタ。敵は撃つわ。マーベル、あなたは残って全部任せてちょうだい。眠ってなさい。待っていたわよ、角度。こ
こまでよ。
乱暴な男は嫌われるわよ。あなたの茶番はこれで終わり。
Welcome all Hyperlinkers. Join the 2025 EWS Global Invitational. This is Etherea's first global, highest-level esports competition. Players must demonstrate professional gameplay, strategic analysis, and mental fortitude to claim victory. Champion, $15,000. Runner-up, $7,000. Top 4, semi-finalists, $4,000 each. The competition will progress through 3 stages to crown the ultimate champion. Online qualifiers, playoffs, and the grand finals. 128 players from dozens of countries worldwide competed in the online qualifiers. After 2 intense days and 7 rounds of Swiss system matches, the top 8 players have advanced to the playoffs. The playoffs and grand finals will be held offline in Shanghai, China on July 19th through 20th. On the first competition day, the 8 playoff players will battle it out in a single elimination bracket. The final 2 players will advance to the grand finals to compete. The last day, these 2 players will compete for the first EWS Global Invitational Champion. The champion will earn the right to face a mystery legendary star in a special showdown. Additionally, the offline event will feature an invitational show match. 6 special guests from 3 major global regions will be divided into 2 teams for an entertaining exhibition match. What kind of spectacular moments will unfold on stage? Who will become the strongest hyperlinker of the first Etheria World Summit Global Invitational? Stay tuned for the incredible performances of the EWS Hyperlinker in 2025.
Hello, my name is Gotcha Smack. I'm a content creator on both YouTube and Twitch.
Hi, I'm Shizo from the Netherlands, also content creator on both YouTube and Twitch.
I'm Jamer Studio from Thailand.
We're all excited to be here in Shanghai, China for the International Tournament for Etheria Restart. And it's been truly an honor and a privilege to get to meet some of the other players and share their passion and joy for the game.
Hello, I'm YDCB.
Hello guys, I'm Limu TV.
Hey guys, I'm Mr. Pokey.
And we are so glad to be able to finally meet you Etheria Restart fans. I hear we have a lot of you supporting our team, so we're going to make sure not to let you down.
ก็ชอบทีมเร็วนะแต่ว่าเกมนี้เนี่ยก็จะมีทีมหลายแบบมากนะครับทีมเร็วเนี่ยผมชอบเพราะว่ามันค่อนข้างจะจบได้เร็วเคลียร์แมตช์ได้เร็วไฟนอลได้ค่อนข้างเร็วนะครับแต่ตอนปลายเกมแล้วเนี่ยผมก็จะชอบทีมถึกแหละเพราะว่าก็ตามเมตากรรมตามกลยุทธ์ของเกมนะครับผมประมาณนี้
100% Gamba player. That's the whole point of playing gacha games, right? Is the thrill of gambling and winning, right? Take a risk and win. That is the best feeling ever.
Well, to be honest, in fitness, it's a test of courage, strength, and perseverance. I look forward to seeing these attributes in my competitors, in particular, Mr. Pokey.
I think one of the favorite scores I've been trying is in PvP is Revelation. So I basically use Revelation for all of my supports. So when they ban away the Mio or the Lilies, if I go for Revelation on Freya, on Kazuyo, she just do so much damage. Even the enemy run bloodbath, they just don't stand a chance.
So the strategy of animus that I like to use are mostly swift rush based, so very fast units outspeeding the enemy, but I also love to use Borg because Borg gives me that immunity. And immunity gives me the edge. If the opponent does outspeed me, I can still take my victory by denying all of those stuns, sleeps, or anything that could come my way.
The most important things in the game, especially in RTA, so PvP, I think it's draft and the game. Like, it's 50-50. Like, the draft is so many important to just counter the opponents.
Well, I've seen the lineup of the enemy team, but none of them actually seem that challenging. Maybe YCB, but the other ones, I think I definitely take them.
They think they're gonna win, but they are gonna just watch us to destroy them.
Get break and taking the win, period.
All I want to say to you is luck may grace you again.
I don't even remember who we're playing against because these are nobody, so we could take the win anyways.
I was supposed to trash out them, but I just think that it's just going to be a joke of a fiesta, so yep.
I look forward to playing Mr. Pokey in this tournament, but after I'm done with him, his name will be Mr. Choke.
I'm Kecker. I've been playing this game since the beta. My friend first introduced me and I got into the game and it's been really fun so far. 99% of the results is determined before the game even starts, and it's in the draft, it's in the strategies and everything. I'm Kecker. My opponents, they're just losers.
My in-game name is Pore. Well, my greatest strengths are the same as my strategy. I think I'm just faster than everyone here, and I also have the wider roster of units. I don't think they can match my speed, to be honest. I feel like they won't even have a chance to even move before I win.
My name is Sarun. It's my first gacha game. I'm a TCG player. I'm good during the drafting phase. I can predict the lineup in advance. Good luck to us.
I'm Rilio. I play Etheria Restart for the first time at the last test beta, and after I start playing Day 1, I play mostly Cleaver Grub, so I got a lot of speed on most units possible, and I like to finish the game quickly. I like to cleave people and to finish the game pretty fast. I'm pretty sure I can finish in one turn anyone on this tournament if I draft correctly.
I'm Youngol. I played Etheria Restart since the start of the game, and I really enjoy playing the Summit Arena the most. My greatest strength compared to other players would be my confidence going into every draft. So I've always been at the top of the leaderboard in Summit Arena, and I am here to prove why I'm the best Hyperlinker here.
So my name is Mojin. It's the same my main strength and my ability to analyze my opponent strategy right from the draft phase. I just want to have fun.
My name is Shining. I'm here for the competition, and I play gacha games since a lot of Euro. Yeah, it's probably my favorite type of game.
Nothing's ever what it seems, as I was left alone to bleed, reaching for anyone or anything. I pulled myself from the dark, lonely in the dead of night. Fear became a friend of mine that I grabbed tight and tamed, a beast inside of my head. Something led me out, a very glimpse of what was soon to be the final piece of all my fantasies. Everything I ever dreamed on the horizon now, taking hold of insecurities. The strength I knew I had inside would be my savior now. Even if I fall, this will never be the end of me. As I crawl my way back to my feet, bracing for the storm that tried to chase me down, like a phoenix rising from the born to fly again. Thought I was left for dead, but I was born to fly again. Thought I was left for dead, but I was born to fight again. Thought I was left for dead, but I was born to fly again. Thought I was left for dead, but I was born to fly again. Can you hear the battle cry? Whispers turning your blind eyes. Listen closely, let it in, and you'll be safe and sound. Lonely in the dead of night, take my hand and hold tight. We'll walk through fire, taming beasts inside of our heads. Something led me out, a very glimpse of what was soon to be the final piece of all my fantasies. Everything I ever dreamed on the horizon now, taking hold of insecurities. The strength I knew I had inside would be my savior now. Even if I fall, this could never be the end of me. As I crawl my way back to my feet, looking for the storm that tried to chase me down, like a phoenix rising from the heat. I was born to fly again.
128 players played in the online qualifiers. We narrowed it down to 8 players that played live here from the quarterfinals in Shanghai, China. Today, only 2 players remain, but only one can take home the lion's share of the $30,000 prize pool here at the EWS 2025 Global Invitational. Let's send it over to our casters to kick off today with our final match of the series.
Yes, here we are, the EWS 2025 Global Invitationals Grand Finals. I'm Scoundrel, joined by Vulcan, and mate, it's not your first day casting, it's your second, and we've got a banger match coming up. Keka versus Han, best of 5 Grand Finals, $15,000 on the line for first. It is a big deal today.
Definitely, and a huge one. Like I said, in yesterday's matches, the 2 highlights were these 2 players. We had Keka kick it off with some really out-of-the-box thinking, running those full control comps, really carried by that O-ball with his stripping and also control, allowing him to enable the rest of his control characters. And then on the other side, we had Han. Now, we did hear Han have massive respect for Keka in his post-match interview, talking about how Keka was helping him with his teams and stuff like that. And we have also heard from Keka that he didn't really want to play against that other side Revelation players. So Keka just kind of, trying to tee it up so he got his proper matchup at the end, but both great players with great performances.
Here's some of the highlights from yesterday. This is that rather annoying team comp that Keka brought to the table. Full control, quite easily dealt with Mugen. We always find it funny, Mugen clicked about 2 buttons in his battle. And then, but also Keka bringing something different as well. He was able to play a bit more of that Revelation style versus Depor. Even though he felt like he was outmatched by other Revelation players, he still was able to take the win versus Depor.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the great thing as well. He does have 2 toolkits in his arsenal with that control and then also the Revelation. So keen to see what he brings out in this one against Han. I'm assuming we'll see more of that slower control play, and we might see some longer matches in this one. So definitely keen to see what they're cooking up here.
And Han on the other side of the bracket, I think he was very impressive, and specifically using Huyan to his ultimate advantage. She really turned around these matches on her head.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a fan favorite, because often when you think of these games, you think speed wins and that's about it. But he just showed you can use some good strategy and really come out with the win using out-of-the-box thinking once again.
Yeah, and he was able to bring very good anti-revelation comps to the table. He kind of said, I'd prepared very specifically for Yongyo, and he got Yongyo, and he was so excited. I loved that about Han. He was so emotional and so excited. I mean, on the other side of the coin, Keka was very calm, very kind of collected, but Han showed his emotions coming through, and he just said, hey, I'm really just happy to get to the finals as well. He knows he's got a tough chance against Keka, but Han undersold himself the entire day and still won through strategy and picks and bans.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Keka's going to sell himself as the underdog every time. We learned that yesterday, but I think he's got a bit on the table.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look. Yesterday we had 6 matches, 4 quarterfinals and 2 semifinals, and now we have that 1 best of 5 grand finals today. Obviously $15,000 prize on the line for first, but even if you come second, you are still taking away $7,000 of the prize pool. So, really, really sizable amount of money for both of these guys getting to the finals. Keka beating out both Mugen and Depor. Han taking down Yongyo, who was one of the favorites for the tournament. The fan favorite for the tournament was Yongyo. And yeah, he was able to get very easily into dealing with Keka. And that will be our first match of the day. After that is a legendary challenge. Now, I don't even know what the legendary challenge is. So you guys are probably going to be as surprised as I am when we see that pop up on screen. And at the very end of the day, we are going to have our team Nico Nana versus Team Doki Doki, our influencer show match. Gacha Smack, Mr. Poke, YDCB, Limalu, Seishizo, and James Mer. They're all going up head-to-head in a special rules match for all the biscuits. They're going to take them home, and then obviously you guys are potentially going to get some rewards out of it too.
Yeah, we were looking at some of the rules before in that one. It does look like a bit of fun that is going to come in that one. Hopefully some good entertainment for the viewers at home.
Yeah, I mean, we have to turn our eyes now, though, to that grand final, that best of 5 that we have on the table, Keka versus Han. Vulcan, what are we expecting as the players get ready? What do you think we're going to be looking at?
Was chatting to Han at breakfast this morning. He doesn't think he has what it takes, but I feel like that is just the humbleness coming out in him. I still like Keka. He was my vote from the start, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, Keka is the fan favorite, and Keka was the host's favorite as well. But speaking of those 2 players, they are ready. Our grand final is ready. Going to throw it over to Matt on the stage to introduce them.
Thank you very much, Scoundrel and Vulcan. The moment that everybody has been waiting for is finally here. We're going to get into our grand final match in just a bit, but first, let us introduce to you the two players that have made it all the way till the final game. Starting off with Han. And his opponent has not dropped a single game in this tournament so far, Keka. Gentlemen, 128 players, and only you two are left standing here today for the grand finals. Han, I'm going to start with you. You said to me twice now that you're still the underdog. 128 players, and you're in the top two. Are you still the underdog coming into this final match?
I mean, how can I not be as an underdog? Like, he hasn't dropped a single game out of every game. But I will try to do my best to inspire people and give my best. Shout out to all my guildmates who supported me, my friends, and my family.
I'm looking forward to watching you in this final best of 5 series, but Keka, he does have a very good point. You have not dropped a single game, and you told me in match number 1 you were cooking. You did. And then match number 2, you turned around and said you were cooked, but you were not. Do you feel confident going into this grand final match?
I would have to say, I think this whole tournament, Han is by far the biggest cook, the master chef. He has cooked some crazy strategies. I really hope he doesn't cook anymore against me. I think if I met him in the first round, I probably 90% chance I would lose. But now that I've seen a lot of his strategies, I think I feel better.
Well, that's really nice words for your opponent, actually, from both of you, to be fair. It's going to be a fantastic match. I'm excited to watch it. I'm sure everyone back at home is excited for this game too. Gentlemen, please, it's time to take your seats. Let's commence with the grand finals of the EWS 2025 Global Invitational.
Welcome, everybody, back to the casting desk. I'm Scoundrel, joined by Vulcan. We are jumping into this grand final now. Players have taken their seats. They're getting ready to go. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know what's going to be brought to the table here. We're going in completely blind.
Completely blind, and you know, we have seen that Keka, it feels like he wants to play that controlled style of game, but we know Han has those control units to steal from him, but Keka also has those really fast supports, that Doki, that Tsukiyomi, that Lily, so definitely keen to see how Han tries to deal with what Keka has on the table.
Yeah, and we know that Keka brought 2 distinct strategies to this competition. He brought heavy control, which he used to win his first quarterfinal, and then in the semi-final, he brought out his revelation comps. So we know he's got revelation comps. You knew from qualifying, he had very strong revelation comps to work with. So we knew that he had this kind of stuff to work with. Han, on the other hand, had anti-revelation is basically how he phrased his kind of strategy coming into this. He specifically prepped for Yongyo. He sort of specifically said, I'm building to beat Yongyo. And he kind of did that, obviously, in the quarterfinals. Very strong dealing with Yongyo. And then came into the second matchup and also managed to make that happen. So kind of excited to see how he comes into this one.
Yeah, definitely. And on the screen at the moment, you can see we do have a new code as well, EWS 2025. Make sure you go ahead and exchange that in-game. I'll have to do that in the next little break that we have.
And you absolutely should, because it's worth 10 pulls. That's right, 10 free pulls using that code. So make sure you redeem it ASAP. Get yourself one of the Animus that you haven't got. I hope you're lucky. I hope you get an SSR from your pull. That would be amazing. And I'm also going to go and redeem it, but I'm actually not using my pulls. I'm saving them for the next banner.
Definitely where I'm at too. Hopefully we get a juicy LD one in the future as well that I can pull for. I've been saving those ones on top of the standard ones. So
yeah.
Once again, I am just definitely getting excited for this grand final. Like I said, I feel like these two are the two showmen that we've had along the way. They've given us the best matches that we've had along the whole tournament. And I mean, Han with his play, like I said, it was my play of the day yesterday, was him with that Hoyan, and I am looking forward to see if we can get some more of those plays. I feel like he's going to try and force Keka into that Revelation play so that it's more suited for him, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, the Hoyan was really what brought it to the table for him, and actually I think like there are not many pickups that can deal with Hoyan, but obviously if you've got good buff strip, you can deal with her. Messiah is a really good Revelation play for anti-Hoyan picks, obviously because he can ignore passives. So it depends on how this draft goes, whether Hoyan will be seen. But we know that Keka has got a good Messiah. He's got the things like the Holden, the Heinrich as well. So yeah, we're going to be jumping into this draft now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what the pre-bans are. We do know that Han said he felt like he had to ban Doki Doki. So that's kind of where he sort of felt like he was at. He doesn't have Doki Doki, at least doesn't have her built well enough for this tournament.
Yeah.
And so we know that there's a very fast Doki Doki on the side of Keka. So he kind of said, I feel like I have to ban Doki Doki.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. If you don't have a unit, and it's a strong unit, and we know that is super fast for Keka, so it's just the safe pre-ban for him going into every match here. It's one of those unfortunate ones, because if he had a Doki Doki, he'd probably have her built in some sort of sense, and then be able to counterpick it. But, you know, it's going to probably end up having to be his safe pre-ban as we move forward into this one.
Yeah, and we are now heading into that draft, the first of this best of 5 grand finals between these two amazing players. As Matt said, 128 players were in this running. 2 of them now stand on the stage, Keka and Han, both from 2 of the biggest represented guilds here. It is going to be the Doki Doki from Han, and it will be the Tiamat from Keka. Almost forgot who that was. Tiamat from Keka.
You can't be forgetting my girl Tiamat. But there we go. Keka does get his first pick with the Lily. We've seen, you know, he has that fast Doki Doki. That's been banned. He's obviously going to go for his next speed threat, trying to get that first turn advantage. And he does pick up that Lily. And then we move back to Han. And so this is where Han is trying to force Keka into playing that Revelation type play with picking the Mio and the Obol, 2 units that were heavily relied upon by Keka in those early matches when he was playing that control-based game.
Absolutely. We're going to get Tsukiyomi and Messiah picked up by Keka. Keka getting Messiah in the protected pick, which makes Hoyan very difficult to go for now for Han, because that means that, you know, Messiah ignores passives with his S3. Obviously, a passive of Hoyan is that she gets that revive and can go for her ultimate when she gets taken down. That gets ignored by Messiah, so that makes Hoyan a less attractive pick for Han.
Yeah, very, very strong. And I don't know if we saw how fast Han's Mio was, but, you know, I'm liking Keka as being the faster one with that Lily and Tsukiyomi that we know are both very fast, but Han then locking in the Viper and taking the Sanya. So Viper in that protected slot, and then Sanya. So I don't think we saw too much of Sanya in the previous day, but no. Sanya great with that max HP increase, strong healing, cleansing, and the revive, which could be very clutch moving forward into this one.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Heinrich and the Holden locked in for Keka. Plenty of buff strip. As you mentioned, like Heinrich has lots of different builds. We heard you talk about it like yesterday, and I think like Heinrich specifically could be Revelation here for Keka.
Yeah, I believe Keka was on a Revelation Heinrich, so he's got some big damage. We do know that Han does have that Ling Low on Lighthouse with the immunity, which could be an option for him, but he does also have that Hoyan, but the problem with the Hoyan is that Messiah in the protected pick. If he thinks he has something to deal with that, maybe he does bring the Hoyan in there. So he's got the sustain, he's got the Viper for a bit of protection. He does have a bunch of control on his team, but I just think is it going to be too fast from the Keka for him to be able to deal with?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he had a lot of options. Hoyan comes through. There's plenty of buff strip on Keka's side. You can't ban it all, and then you obviously have the passive ignore from Messiah, so it doesn't feel like the most...
So the Lily is super fast
wow,
going into this one as
fast,
well, and
yeah.
the Heinrich outspeeding as well. And also, like, everyone's super fast in this one. So boosting, and it is the Revelation, so we're going to see some damage here on this one. Goes for the skill 3.
Let's have a look how much damage it does.
Good damage strips the buffs, and it's just not looking good because we do have the buff block on that Hou-Yan as well, which is not great for her. Plus being so low, we're going to get the cleave straight away with this one.
Oh,
and there goes the Hou-Yan, and there gets a bit of extra damage. Now, if he resets, and he does reset, meaning we do not have any revive, and that is going to be game one pretty much done at this point. I don't see an out unless I got it wrong and the Sunya didn't get her skills reset, but then we are going to use that skill cooldown reduction. We have the heal blocks as well on the skill 2 from Heinrich that are going to come out, and I think it's just going to be too much. There's plenty of debuffs on there, and trying to cleanse, you're not going to do it, and then we're going to go ahead and get the kill.
There we go. It was a very easy pull there for Keka. I don't actually think Han took a turn as well. The turn control from Lily just too strong. But as you saw, Keka's just got some very fast characters on this. And actually, as you said, you can't ban them all. And I do think that Doki Doki ban is going to somewhat hamper Han in this match. I mean, Keka's just got too many threats that you can't ban them all.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't know if maybe that Ling Luo could have been a bit of a counter for that, because that Ling Luo we saw has the Lighthouse, has the immunity. Even though we do have the buff strip, we can cleanse with that. We can get that Ling Luo in there with the Lighthouse because we do have the Revelation on that Heinrich. Boost forward, get the healing, get yourself fully topped up for when that Messiah comes into swing. So maybe he does lean back onto that Ling Luo at some stage in the future.
Yeah, I think going onto Ling Luo actually could have been an interesting pickup there. Hou-Yan definitely had no impact. She was blasted pretty quickly. And I think, again, you're building Hou-Yan obviously very offensively to be able to take people down. But in that case, Messiah just does too much damage. And then the follow-up from Heinrich. It did feel like it wasn't a super heavy damage Heinrich, though. It was obviously a Revelation Heinrich, but not built in the way that was kind of going to burst people down 100%, because when he followed up with the S2, it wasn't particularly impactful.
Definitely, and the Lily boosting that Heinrich in that one was a very smart play, because it meant that the Heinrich got to put the buff block on as well. And also, if he had boosted the Messiah and the Messiah went before the Heinrich, the Messiah might not have had the damage.
He did boost the Messiah, I think, because he ultimately reset the Messiah with the S3.
So that's just good timing,
Yeah,
knowing
yeah,
the speeds, because
exactly.
you didn't want that Messiah going before the Heinrich. That must be a damn fast Heinrich then.
He looked like he was running over, because it was close to Lily on the timing. You think that Lily must be 330 something speed, so Heinrich must be up there for him. We are into the second draft phase though. We're waiting for those pre-bans to come through. Looks like they're staying the same. Doki Doki from Han, Keka going for the Tiamat. And now let's see where we land. We're going to wait for the first pick in from Han. He is going to take the Messiah away this time, so really doesn't like that passive ignore, maybe looking for ways to make Hou-Yan feel a little bit more effective. Hou-Yan does feel like the ace card for Han, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely that one. So it does make you think that he's going to lean into opting for that Hou-Yan play. When he picks that Messiah, it's just like, okay, that thing just counted me way too hard in this game. I need to bring the next option. The problem is we still do have the Heinrich, who is also a great counter, that buff block, meaning you no longer get the Soul Ward with the Hou-Yan. You still do get to use the Revenge, though, so... Oh, Keka being super sly on that one, taking the Lily, which we know is fast, but then shutting down Han's idea by taking the Hou-Yan. Great insight there from Keka.
Yeah, really, really big play. Thinking that I know that he relies on Hou-Yan as kind of like the anti-revelation part of his comp. I'm going to take it. It means that he will not be able to grab it, and he's now gone to his second pick phase here. Han does not look happy.
He did not look happy on that one. He had the big head shake, and honestly, that's just great play by Keka, and that's how many mind games are in this pick ban phase, because Keka just steals your option.
I feel like you need to take Tsukiyomi if you're Han here, because if you now let Tsukiyomi through as well, that's just, again, two massive threats that you're not going to be able to take away from the other side of the board. But it does look like, obviously, there's Mio still available as well. Lots of things on the table for Han that he probably needs to pick up this early in the draft, because otherwise you're basically giving a god draft over to Keka.
Yeah, and he does take up that Mio and puts the Ling Luo in the protected slot. Now, we did see, his Ling Luo was very vital for him in previous matches. Now, we do have the Hou-Yan with that very heavy single target damage coming out, so not too sure how it's going to play out, because, once again, we do have the Hou-Yan from the Keka as a counter pick trying to stop that strategy, but you normally don't pick the Hou-Yan after your opponent takes the Messiah, because the Messiah is the counter, so there's a lot of interesting play. Maybe that means we lean into a Messiah ban so that Hou-Yan can have full impact.
Well, there's a Yeli here now, something that, is good. His Yeli's decent into Messiah. She has a lot of follow-up damage. She's got a huge amount of burst. And then the Mia comes through. Han smiling. He's smiling. He specifically said, if Keka brings Mia to the table, I can't beat that.
Yeah, so the Mia is fantastic because Mia has, and Keck is even laughing at it. He knows what's happening here. The Mia has the strip with the turn gauge push, and that just allows him even more advantage. Plus, it brings you sustain. Mia actually just an absolutely fantastic unit, and we see the rare unit in the Vice come out. So Vice and Viper for the final picks. Hopefully the Vice gets a showing, but you know, Keka is looking like drafting really well versus Han in this one. We still need to see his final pick, but you know, I am liking what I am seeing out of Keka's team at the moment. We know he's probably going to have first turn with that Lily, but I don't think we've seen Vice come out in this tournament yet, so hopefully he can get a showing, and the final pick going as Holden for Keka.
Yeah, Holden, he obviously was looking for some buff strip, I think, from this, so yeah, goes for the Holden there, has got that now available. The bans come through. It is going to be a Hoyan ban, and then also a Mio ban coming through as well.
Yep, definitely. So we saw that really fast Mio as well, going straight.
Han's smiling because he's like, how much damage is this guy going to do with this?
Yeah, and there we go. Big nuke. Oh, that is painful. And now we get the follow-up. Oh! Boom! That is massive damage. That is a ton, and it is not looking good for Han here. He knows it too, that he's got no damage. There is no way to come back from that. And Keka just really showing his dominance in this match.
Yeah, it's pretty spicy. And Han was very, upfront with us this morning. He did say, I'm going to try, but Keka is the GOAT. Keka is the GOAT of Etheria Restart, so this is going to be tough. And it is a very quick turn two from... I mean, this is what you expect to see from very high-tier Revelation players. If they've got the source, they win very quickly.
Yeah, and I think the big thing we're seeing here is not only just the strength of being fast and having Revelation, because we saw two opponents for Han yesterday that were very fast and had Revelation. This is someone who's had a whole night to analyze what Han did yesterday and figure out how to counter it. And I think Keka, just that Hoyan pick was just showing how he is really good at seeing what the opponent's thinking.
I will say, if you're tuning in and watching this and thinking, is this how the whole tournament went? No. This is actually the opposite of how the whole tournament went. These are probably the quickest games that we've seen the whole way through. Yesterday we had 5-minute long control games. We had plenty of counterplay in the draft phase. There was so many good games as well in the quarterfinals. So if you haven't watched yesterday, I absolutely would recommend that you go and watch yesterday's broadcast and check out all of the games that we had there, because there were so many cool strategies. It's sometimes, there is a bit of a situation where you're just rock, paper, scissoring a little bit in terms of what you can bring to the table, and Keka just has the sort of the edge in most of the times.
Yeah, Keka just not wanting to have a good spectacle here. He's stealing that Hoyan, stopping the plays that we see, could really counter him, and he's just playing it perfectly, to be honest. And unfortunately for the audience, it means we are getting some really fast games through this one. So hopefully we can get something juicy in this next round, and hopefully Han can come back. Listen, I know I voted for Keka as the winner, but I really want to see Han get this game and keep it stretching on a bit longer.
Yeah, Han did so well in his pick and ban phases to get to this stage of the game. He's actually switching things up with the Messiah ban here. Now, this might mean that obviously he's telegraphing that he really, really wants Hoyan. He really feels like it's a very important part of his draft. And if he can't get it, then he's going to be in a bit of a rough spot. But he's going to deny the Lily. So denying the Lily this time away from Keka. Let's see how Keka responds.
Yeah, I would anticipate Keka not picking up that Doki Doki straight away, because he knows it's not a threat.
It's not available. Yeah.
So he can leave that for his last pick, which is a massive threat for him. So I'm not sure who he's going to pick for his first two, which we'll have to wait and see if he does counter-pick the Hoyan.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that is not going to look too great for Han. Also taking that Yelly, just going for all the damage at the start here. So very strong plays. I just don't know what Han is going to pick up next to really deal with this. Is he going to go control? Is he going to try and take some extra damage? We know he is more control-based, but to wait and see these next two picks. But that Hoyan play is so dirty from Keka. Just sees exactly what he's trying to do and says, I ain't going to allow that one.
So it's going to be Kazuyo and Obol. So again, you mentioned control heavy. That is where Han is moving. The great thing about Lily is she's flexible in these comps. You don't need to just buff a damage dealer. Lily's really great at getting your control moving. You can get Obol to move first, you can get Kazuyo to move first, and if they can use their ultimate and land a full spread of CC, then you know, obviously in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, very fantastic. So, I mean, I always think back to how pivotal it was having that Ling Luo with the Lighthouse. Maybe we see that coming out a little bit later to counter that big Yelly damage, because that Yelly damage was huge, but will it be enough? Because the Yelly just hits so damn hard, she deletes the whole field.
And then there's Doki Doki and Tsukiyomi. So, I mean, some really tough things, and Doki Doki's protected as well. So if you don't want the Huyan to be there, you've got to ban Tsukiyomi, but then Tsukiyomi is insanely powerful as well, and so that puts the ban phase into a bit of a tough spot for Han.
Yeah.
I will say that we had the Ling Luo last round as well, and Yelly still one-shot her, basically.
Yeah, it's just too much damage. Had the follow-up onto it, knew it was coming, and then there's just the damage. And that is, I just think Keka's Yelly is so well built. Do you go ahead and ban the Yelly and deal with the other two? We've got to see what the last pick is, obviously.
I like the idea of banning the Yelly because that meant you kind of rely on Hoyan, and Hoyan's not a cleaver, right? So she can't cleave the entire team down. Obviously, we expect her to be really well built on Keka's side, but if you're in this situation, maybe you do just say, yeah, all right, ban Yelly. Like,
ban the Yelly, because we have so much control over on Han's team. We have the Mega, we have the Obel, we have the Kaz, which means we can avoid some of that damage and the revenges from the Hoyan. So maybe that is the play he goes for. Does bring in the Veronica as well, which we know for turn 2 players is fantastic. Getting the cut in, we got the Soul Ward, we can steal some buffs as well along the way.
And Mia comes out for Keka. I actually think I would ban the Yelly in this situation. At least you know there's no hard CC for you to have to really deal with. You know that you're going to take turns, so it's probably the best play you can make.
And the bans do come in, and it is the Yelly band and the Lily band. So that very fast Tsukiyomi, it's a lot closer on speeds this time. So the Tsukiyomi getting the boost straight away, bringing up that Hoyan. Something is going to die here.
Something will get taken out. Let's see what it's going to be. I mean, if you were would you take out the Obol or the Kazuyo?
I honestly don't know. It's a really tough one. He goes for the Veronica and does not get the damage. That is really lucky for the Veronica, because it does also boost her. So now she is going to be able to put that Soul Ward up as well, but it's not as big of a threat. So honestly, this game looking a lot better for Han at this stage. He does have the ability to go in and start looking to cycle some control. The one issue for him is he really needs to strip that Doki, because it has immunity. And if Doki gets to use her skill 3, she will have her buff, which means she's going to be cleansing her whole team at the start of their turns, which is a massive issue.
Stripped.
And he does strip it, and he does steal all of those buffs. Now, the unfortunate thing is the speeds here, because the Doki is going to move next as well, which means we are going to have so many cleanses to deal with. But we do have a lot of debuffs to apply. We have the poisons, we have the stuns, we have the freeze, we have the heal block, and we also have the attack break and sleep. So we have a lot to apply that's going to be hard to remove.
The most competitive game so far of this finals, and things starting to shape up quite nicely. Let's see where Han moves with this Obel. He is going to
use the skill 2 for the strip. Definitely using the strip to get those extra dots on there. More stuff to have to worry about trying to dispel with Doki's passive. So wouldn't be surprised. Do we go for the freeze here? We do go for the freeze and the heal block. Unfortunately, not landing on the Doki there. We get the attack break now and the sleeps, and we're just stacking up those debuffs. You can see the Doki cleanse did not actually work to get the freeze off or the sleeps off. So that was actually a really nice play there.
We've got the ultimate, and we're going to get it to see if the stuns come through. They land on 3, so Tsukiyomi's still available.
And it's actually looking really decent. We do want to get rid of that Hoyan while she has the stun on her. So we'll have to see if we go ahead and poke into her, try and get that last little bit of damage out on this one. Otherwise, we are going to have the heal coming out from the Mia. So we'll have to see what he chooses here.
Mia's currently stunned just for the time being.
Oh, she is too.
Yeah, not to worry just yet. He's going to try and... He slumbers the Tsukiyomi, so make sure that most...
Oh, the cleanse comes in. The cleanse does come in from the Doki Doki, and it gets the heals up. That's the issue that we have there.
Okay, we can take away turn meter here, so we can maybe try and get Obel ahead, but I don't think he's got his stun up because he used the Codex on his skill 2.
Oh, he does cut up though, but it's not going to be enough. We're going to put that dot over onto the Hoyan. It's not going to be quite enough. We do have the boost available for us as well. Veronica coming in next.
We are going to move up.
There she goes, the cleanse coming out once again. That Doki Doki is such a threat in these longer games, especially against control comps. She just kind of shuts down what they're trying to do.
It's big stuff, but he hasn't got the ultimate available, so he's just got his S1. Not going to do a huge amount of damage just yet because we haven't stacked up any of the passives. So that attack boost not coming through just yet for Hoyan.
And even though we've had those heals, they're still looking pretty decently low. That Hoyan is not very healthy at this stage. We do have the skill 3 available once again to go ahead and steal and spread. honestly, the survival that has been coming through from Han has been really good. Those shields have really helped him survive, and he's actually staying super healthy into the game without any healers on his team. So definitely having to think through, and this is like the most strategic match we've had so far. As you can see, he's got 6 seconds on the clock, and he still hasn't decided what he wants to do on this last one. Who is he targeting?
I think he just goes for the steal, as you can see.
Yep, onto the Hou-Yan, getting her really low, goes for the basic, and gets...
it's so close.
I didn't, so she's not asleep either. Unfortunately, missing that. We really need to hit this. If we attack the Hou-Yan, we need a freeze, and we do get the freeze. We do get the freeze. That is so good on the basic attack. That was a risk there, but he took it, and it managed to come through.
For those of you that don't know, Mio has got a very low percentage chance to get a freeze on her S1. It's not a consistent thing at all, so it was a big risk.
The Opal has the skill too as well to convert that buff into a dot as well.
Oh, this is big. This is really big.
And there goes the Hou-Yan.
Han coming back big in game 3 here.
And there's the recede. Well done.
Concedes it out. Han gets a game back. Honestly, I was not expecting that. I was really thinking that Keka was dominant from the start, but he switches up that ban strategy for the Messiah. You can see he's talking to him over. These guys are good friends, and they were joking back and forth, but that was incredibly well played. What a game.
And super respectful from Keka there, not to drag it out the whole time without any damage. He knew that it was done after that, and really well played by Han. Great work adjusting. We saw those first 2 matches. I thought it was going to be a clean sweep done quick, and we weren't going to get any excitement. But there we go, Han coming in with a really great match.
I am so glad that you guys got to see that on stream, because it just shows you that this is how competitive Etheria can look like. You know, it's not just the case of my Revelation user goes real fast and blows up your entire team. There's a lot of this really awesome strategy that comes into the pick and ban phase, and it obviously took a couple of turns for Han to think about how he wanted to adapt, but this is what Han was so good at in the quarterfinals and semifinals, just making these strategic adjustments to see if he can come out on top, especially in the semis where he did lose a game.
And the big thing that he did there was that Yelly ban, because the Yelly was way too much of a threat to deal with, and putting him so that Keka only had the 1 single target damage dealer, and you know, I've got so much control that can counter this character, and I just have to focus in on this one strategy, and if I get that one character down, I win the game.
We see the pre-bans come through. It looks like Han has now finally figured out that the Doki, even though a threat, not as much as having to deal with the Messiah. And it looks like Lily going to be immediately taken away by Keka here. Feels like a pretty important pick for both sides, if I'm honest with you. And obviously kind of draws a ban most of the time.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, we saw last time the Messiah ban to try and play with that Hou-Yan. So maybe he can take that Hou-Yan this time and now get to play her. But will it just become another ban in the post bans by Keka? We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But once again, I'm super excited after that last game to see what can happen. And he brings the 2 units that came out in dual banners, and that is Hou-Yan and Holden. So 2 really strong units, very strong bruiser. We've got the strips. We've seen actually Holden put some great shows in during this tournament with his skill 2 being so impactful, locking out a unit.
Switching up the strategy then in terms of pick and ban from Han. And now we're going to have to see how Keka looks to respond. He is safe picking the Yelly, so basically making sure that that's not a ban option for Han. You kind of felt like that might be the case from Keka, having left it exposed last time round, and it being such a big part of his win strategy previously, and also going to run with the Doki Doki and the Lily. So tough ban phase here for Han.
Yeah, definitely, and that lock-in of the Yelly with 2 incredibly fast units makes me think no matter what Han picks next, I feel like that Hou-Yan is on the chopping block for the bans, and that's a really good situation for Keka to be in. So we'll have to wait and see, but that Hou-Yan is a great counter for that Yelly being able to go ahead and revenge. But, you know, we're looking a bit tough on this one. We do put Mio into the protector slot. We've got Kaz there as well. So now we're going full on into that control type comp. He's probably going to want to pick up some sustain, maybe that Veronica again to try and cut in between. But we saw how much raw damage that Yelly has from Keka. It is built incredibly.
And we are going to see the final 2 picks coming in from Keka here. He has got a couple of options. You could deny some healing. Obviously, we've generally seen Han default back to a couple of the sustain picks, like the Ling Luo or the Sanya. So Keka's got some options on the table. Let's see.
We've seen that Heinrich come out as well.
Yeah,
Maybe we've got something like that. He's got plenty of options that he can choose from, and he does lock in the Ling Luo. And I think this is the first time we are seeing a Rosa in the tournament. Very strong Revelation damage dealer as well. So that's rounding out his picks. He does have the sustain as well as a heap of damage to go ahead and deal with, and those 2 really fast units. And the final one coming out from Han is going to be the Valerian. He saw the damage from that Yelly, knows he can't ban it, it, so he needs to stop his whole team dying straight away.
The issue with the small issue with Valerian is that Yeli kind of counters it because she's got the follow-up attack. So like even if you protect death from the ultimate, we'll have to see. Anyway, we have got the bans coming through. It was Hoyan and the Rosa getting back.
Yeah, so the no Hoyan is going to be very difficult to deal with in this one. His whole team is going to go before Han by the looks of this one. We've got the Ling Luo. Doesn't really need the immunity because everyone else is going to rinse through. Maybe uses skill 2 to extend the immunity on Doki, something like that. But yeah, your whole team's faster, so you're in a pretty good position on this one. Does opt for that skill 2 just to extend that. There wasn't too many other options he needed to do.
Lily gets to move again, since we haven't even seen the Yeli get the option to move just yet. Going to use the follow-up attack. That's already taking Holden down super low.
Big damage from a basic, and now we have the revelation.
You can see Hans smiling.
Yeah, Han's not liking this. It's not looking great. It's just a matter of who he targets, but there is going to be at least 2 dead units, possibly 3 at the end of this attack.
Oh,
we just survived through that. The 2 lighthouses do manage to proc. We get the revenge. I thought we were going to see 2 dead. We only saw 1. The Mio does get a chance, but the problem is that Doki has already got her buffs, and you know we're not going to be able to out-control here, and we don't have a ton of damage.
Mio going to use her buff steal, but everyone already pretty advanced on the side.
Yeah,
of
use
Han.
the gauge steal there just to get the advance, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We've got the Holden. He can reset someone. I just think this Yeli outside of Revelation still has big damage. We saw that 1 basic attack doing massive amounts.
See, Holden, he does kill the Yeli.
He does get her down. That was some big damage that I was not expecting, but without any healing, we do have the skill 2 with a heal over time from the Valerian. But dude, that was actually really nice damage coming out there. So it's still a game that we have going.
Yeah, it's still a lot on the table. Again, the damage from Ling Luo, Doki, and Lily is not going to be huge.
No.
So it depends on how much damage they are going to do here. They're going to use the speed buffs to get things up. We obviously have the healing from Ling Luo. There's not a lot of true sustain over the side of Han, so he is going to essentially be whittled away. We know that the Valerian is going to get the heal over time below a certain health percentage. We are going to get a big AoE heal all the way up to full. Both teams not really having a huge amount of damage to work with, although Holden does have a little bit. So
yeah, it's really looking in favor of Keke here, but that Holden does have a decent build with a solid bit of damage in it, but I don't think it's going to be able to one-shot things like he needs to do to be able to avoid the healing output of that Ling Luo.
So now it's just a case of how much healing can get over on the side of Han and how much damage can this Holden actually do there. I'm going to take a target down the Valerian. I think it's the sensible option to really go in on the Valerian because you just want to make sure that any kind of sustain gets taken off the board. You don't want another prevent death coming through either. Ult comes through. It's a decent chunk, but honestly the damage from the revenge is pretty strong.
It's very strong, and we are getting some really solid damage there in, and that's why you don't really want to focus down that Holden at the moment because his revenge has hit so hard, and he is built quite well for damage. So, you know, Holden working wonders here, and if he can chip away one and then another, he's actually looking in a pretty decent position. And that Holden also having access to the Artisan, so that Holden shields, if he can survive through to an Artisan shield, he could actually sustain through this.
And also just remember, there is still the revive available from Valerian, so she just used her S3 again.
The prevent death, yeah, she has the prevent death, not the revive, definitely. And there comes the big shield. Look how big that shield is from the Artisan. He's going to be able to go ahead and knock out that Lily. This is actually big. And there it goes. We are going to a 5th game. Keke sees it.
Oh, this is what Han was so good at in the previous few days. He really looked like he was down and out into game 3, but 2 games on the trot. Incredible stuff.
I think something that completely caught me off guard was the amount of damage that came out of that Holden's ult. I was not expecting the Yeli to get dropped by it. She did, and then we just saw the revenge into the basic attack from the Holden on that Lily, just completely changing the aspect of the game. And then once again, that Artisan shield is so impactful. You can have no sustain on your team, but if you get a shield that's that big, it's just impossible to get through, especially when you don't have a damage dealer.
It's basically equivalent to a full heal. Like, you know, it really feels like that way when you get those big Artisan shields coming through. And Keke now, he's going to have to lock in for this final match. We are going all the way to the 5th game here in this Grand Finals. I think had you tuned in on the first 2 games, you'd have thought this is over, this is done. But Han brings it back. The plucky underdog that worked his way through. No one thought he was capable of it, and now he's here in the 5th game of the Grand Finals, going into draft. That Messiah ban has served him well. I am not expecting that to change. I'm interested to see whether Keke shifts things, though.
Yeah, definitely. And same bans, that team at staying banned. But yes, I was worried we were going to have a non-event and it was just going to be a clean sweep. But Han has completely turned things around. And we did see those lighthouses come in as well. So he is very defensive. But that play in the last game, that Holden, is a massive threat. I wouldn't be surprised to see Keka try and counterpick that Holden because he's just built so well with so much damage and that Artisan Shield helping him survive into the late game.
Yeah, Keka opens up with a Lily first pick. I think Han may just run it back. You know, when you've had a strategy that works in those opening 2 picks, he's going to go for it again. Holden and Hoyan straight up.
Definitely, and yeah, that Holden is another threat that Keka has to think about now. But obviously, Hoyan, when the Messiah is banned, is a huge threat. We do have some options to deal with that Hoyan if he wants to let it through. He has got a Heinrich build. Maybe he goes with that Heinrich, stops the puts the buff block on, stops that Soul Ward, but she can still revenge. And we are just seeing a complete rematch where Keka is picking the Doki Doki and then Protected picking the Yelly. Now, once again, we mentioned that we don't think Han actually has Doki Doki built, so it's one of those ones where Keka could have actually taken another option and saved that for his last pick if he wanted to, but wanting to lock it in early.
We are waiting for the next 2 picks up for Han. You know, might just run it back again. Might just take the Neo in the protected slot, then take the Ling Luo again. That's kind of the way he approached it previously. So let's see where he goes with that 3rd pick. Obviously, just to reiterate, if you have a pick in the middle of your comp here, that 3rd pick, it is protected. You cannot get banned in the post phase. So you have to make sure it's a really, really important pick for your comp.
And can I just say, I'm just loving the sportsmanship between these 2 players as well. They're all smiles. No one's getting upset about a loss. They're here to have fun. They're guaranteed to win something. And this game is going to be a great final match. We do see the protected Viper and then the Ling Luo coming out from Han. His Ling Luo, once again, being very pivotal in previous matches. So good to see that come in. Viper, just an all-round great unit in RTA at the moment.
Let's see where Keka goes. The Rosa felt like an interesting pick. I don't know, like, you know, if it was designed to be like an alternative damage threat to follow up on the Yelly, but let's see where Keka decides to pivot. This is probably where he makes changes, if any. Obviously, Tsukiyomi's still up, so that was something that's been really, really impactful on him across his games, but also a couple of other picks that are still available too.
Yeah, I think he goes for more damage because he'd be worried about... Ooh, he does go ahead and take the Tsukiyomi and the O-Ball. Okay, so he is guaranteed probably to have his whole team move because he's got his 3 very, very fast picks. The Yelly is locked in. Now, do we see that Valerian pick again? Because we know it's a threat. We do see the Sanya. Okay, so no Valerian in there to protect those deaths, but let's see how this one pans out. Now, the bans do come in. So Keka losing the O-Ball, and we are seeing the Hoyan ban as well. So we see that Lily move first. We've got the whole team moving first. Is this going to be another clean sweep? We've got the attack buff on that Yelly when she does move, and this is going to be that massive Revelation damage. Now, if she doesn't kill the Ling Luo, we're in trouble, but I think we're going to be targeting the Ling Luo, go for the kill, and we do hit 1.
I think that was on. Oh, he targeted the Holden.
Yes.
And we do have the availability of the Sanya revive if he wants it as well. So everyone pretty healthy at this point in time. That is a good little win for Keka, but that's the Revelation used, and that's going to get revived on this turn.
The problem is we got so much cooldown reduction on this team. We have the Lily that's going to reduce cooldowns. We have the Doki Doki that's going to reduce cooldowns. So even if we get that revive out, it's just going to rinse and repeat and go again. And that is the issue because we see Lily moving next. Lily obviously going to use that skill 3, reduce the cooldowns for that Yelly, and Yelly's going to swing again. So do we hold on to that revive for the next game? Having to think about this one. Not sure what he wants to do. Does go for the skill 2. Is he reviving or he's putting on the Sanya, trying to increase that max HP, survive better into this next attack, which we know is going to be coming in this one. We do see the CD increase on the Sanya as well, so it's going to be a long time before that revive can come out. We have the Revelation proccing again. Now this is the point that we have to see what happens. Now probably going to be going on to the Ling Luo with the follow-up.
Oh, that's huge!
And was targeting the Ling Luo with the follow-up. So that Ling Luo down, but I think this is what Han was planning for with that skill 3 on Sanya herself. Now he just wants to cycle through, hopefully get back around to that revive, but I think with the cooldown reduction that we have on the Doki Doki, it's not going to be enough. Now, Attack Break we've seen on Messiah previously, really strong to reduce that damage, but Yelly's skill 3 is going to cleanse her debuffs, meaning that Attack Break is not going to have enough effect. We do see the boost, and we are still on the 2 turns left on the cooldown. But that big damage, raw damage coming out. Only 2 hits, not getting the final hit. We are going to cleanse that defense break. We are going to get the heals. It is looking very dangerous though here in this next attack because that Yelly could quite easily hit 3 attacks and just delete that Sanya and make it the game over.
And the whole team is going to take yet another
Here it goes.
turn.
One. Oh yeah, this is going to only be one on the follow-up, but here is the actual attack, Revelation, and that is going to be it. Han's smiling. He sees it happening. He's applauding his opponent, and that is going to be a massive congratulations to Keka. Just surviving with that Amber. He's dragging the game out with that Amber, but that is game over, and that is going to be it to Keka. He's going to let him play through it and actually take the win. How many can we hit? That's 2. That's 3.
That's
4. And
Oh.
unfortunately into that Amber, which is not going to give him any damage. Han making him work for this final kill as well
I
until
don't
the
think
Viper
you can
takes
see
the
just
kill.
yet. Anyway, it looks like it's down. It is going to be Keka. And he's won. Keka's won the entire grand final. He doesn't even, he's chilling.
And Keka in his standard aura, just staying calm, not even worrying about it. We can't even get a smile out of the man, can we? There we go. Well done, Keka. And well done, Han. Those first 2 matches were so dominant by Keka, but coming back with a Han was fantastic, going in all the way into Game 5.
I was almost questioning myself. It was crazy. He looks so chill, but it does look like Matt's ready on stage to chat to our winner. We're going to hand it over to them. Congratulations, Keka.
Congratulations, Keka. You are the EWS 2025 World Champion. Please come and join me on the stage. And everyone, please give a round of applause for Keka, your World Champion. Now, Keka, coming into the grand finals, you were undefeated, not dropping a single game. That went all the way to Game 5. Were you feeling a little bit shaky once it got there?
Yeah, definitely. I think I made tons of mistakes in the last 3 games.
Walk me through your thought process going up against Han, because backstage both of you were talking really highly of each other. You were talking about how you were talking about strats going into the grand finals still. What was your thought process against him? What do you think was helping you eke out that victory?
Yeah, I think Han's biggest strength is that if he lives the initial burst, he gets to hit back and CC the opponents using his lighthouse and turn meter manipulation, but that counters Revelation really hard, so basically I can't use any Revelation units at all, pretty much, but I basically need to draft units that do a one-shot. So that's why Yeli, Messiah, and yeah.
Well, it worked out for you in the end, and congratulations, you are the world champion. Now I'd like to invite Game Director Jack on stage to hand you your prize. Thank you very much, Game Director Jack. Keka, $15,000. How are you feeling right now?
Is this heaven?
You went the distance. You are the world champion. 128 players. Some people said you were favorite coming into it. It looked like into the grand finals. I mean, were you at all nervous throughout that entire series? Because it felt like you had a lock and everything. Did go to Game 5, but were you nervous at all?
Yeah, I think coming into this game, I was the most prepared out of all my games here at this offline event. So it's because I had, the most information from the quarterfinals, semifinals, looking at VODs and looking at his picks, knowing his speed, his sets. Yeah, coming into this, I felt the most comfortable, but I think I was too comfortable, and that's why I started making a lot of mistakes.
Well, now that you have $15,000, what are you going to do with the money?
Haven't thought about it much. I'll probably just invest it for now.
Wait, hang on. Wait, what happened to your money?
"听说你刚拿了 EWS 冠军啊？我特别好奇现任冠军到底几斤几两？咱们来较量一下呗。" 奖金我先给你没收了，等你赢得了我的认可后，我再还给你。
Bao, the best Summoners World player, 2024 World Champion. Wait, what have you done with his money? Why'd you take it?
I just have a chance to play with our champion.
So, hang on, he wants to play against you. Do you have anything to say about that?
I have to kick his ass then.
Are you sure you can beat the champion?
Actually, I'm not sure, but I'll be trying.
Okay, well, to be fair, you are the champion. I'm going to give you the final say. Anything else you want to say besides you want to kick his ass?
Let's have fun.
All right, gentlemen, please take your seats. We have one more legendary challenge coming up. Let's get into the game.
I did not think we had more Etheria action coming our way, but we have the Summoners War 2024 World Champion taking on the Etheria 2025 World Champion. That is huge. However, Keka's a GOAT. The Keka is the GOAT of Etheria. I think he can win his prize money back here.
Listen, I think when you've beaten that many players to come in and claim this prize, you'd be feeling pretty confident in your ability. Even though he doesn't know his opponent, he knows he is damn fast. He's got plenty of units built. This is his main game. It's been his absolute focus. I am liking Keka for this one.
But it's pretty cool that we brought out one of the other champions from the industry to come and play him. Hopefully his money hasn't actually been confiscated, because if he loses, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, Keka, this is one you've really got to win, mate, because yeah, you want to make sure you get that back. Otherwise, it's just curtains for you, and you kind of missed out on your whole chance of coming here.
Yeah, I know. Well, Keka absolutely, honestly, deserves his spot. He really came in as an absolute beast, and obviously Han incredibly played. So well played in that fight.
Yeah.
I want to give commiseration to both of them. They're amazing.
Yeah, and while we're setting up for this next match, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to Han. He did have to go straight off stage, but fantastic performance the entire time.
Absolutely. Guys, if you missed it, there is a code that you can redeem in-game, EWS 2025. I am going to redeem it as soon as I get off of this broadcast, because I want to make sure I want to get those 10 pulls. I'm going to save them because I want to use it on a good banner, but you guys, 10 free pulls you can grab. Make sure you grab it. It's a huge code. Go and put it in game.
Yeah, I'm still missing Kloss and Tiamat. Maybe I'll just run up the standard banner again.
You're missing Tiamat?
I know. I've still got my selector. I'm absolutely torn on my selector.
You are literally Mr. Tiamat. You are literally Mr. Tiamat, and you're missing Tiamat.
My selector's sitting there, and I'm torn between her and Kloss. So maybe I just got to run up that standard banner. I'll probably hit another dupe of Rahu. We'll have to wait and see.
Actually, what is your most duped? Is it Rahu?
Rahu, yep.
Do you know what my most duped is? What do you think my most duped is?
I already know, actually, because you told me before. It's your Lilith, isn't it?
My Lilith, and
yep.
I don't even use Lilith. However, I was very lucky. I pulled Yeli, and then the next two permanent pulls I got two dupes of Yeli. So I've got the Yeli crit increase, which is huge. Yeli getting her crit increase on her dupes is absolutely massive. Anyway, enough about our accounts. Let's take a look at what's coming up our way. Obviously, a lot of strategy goes in here, similar kind of game in the form of our Summoners World Champion. A lot of strategy goes into those types of PvP matches as well. So both guys, the top of their strategic minds in their relative fields. Kind of excited to see how this matches up.
Yeah, maybe focusing on another game is going to cost you the strategic advantage you need to beat the world champion. But you never know. When you've got talent in these things, it's like in real sport. Guys that have talent, and they can come through.
Well, it is a best of 3 as far as I'm aware. So you've got to get the 2 wins to make sure you come out on top here. And so we'll be seeing, can Keka, after the high of just winning on that previous match, can he keep that going for another best of 3 after the final?
Yeah, definitely keen to see, but I think we have seen that Keka is absolutely kitted out on his account. Not only his account, but his strategies and the way he thinks through. I just think back to that previous matchup against Han, when he saw Han picking that Messiah, trying to stop him so he could play his Hoyan, and then he just goes straight, counterpicks the Hoyan.
We are jumping into the draft here. Let's see how this goes. Kilimbao versus Keka. It is going to be a very, very cool match to see. Let's see what Kilimbao does in terms of bans. I wouldn't be surprised to see him ban. He's banned Tsukiyomi, so an interesting ban. I thought maybe he'd go for the Yeli, but he bans the Tsukiyomi.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said, we don't actually know what's on his account. We have no insight into him at all, so he's a complete blind one for us. We're just going to wait and see how this first match pans out to see how he's going to play the game. Is he a heavy revelation? Is he a turn 2? Is he a control player? We don't know.
See now. Looks like Bao has gone for, we're waiting to see what they're kind of going for in the draft phase at this point in time. It is the confirmation of the Tsukiyomi, the Ling Luo ban for Keka.
Yeah, Ling Luo stopping that sustain, but Keka going in blind like us to this one, not knowing what he has on his account. We do see the Lily pickup on the first pick.
A Lily pickup comes through, immediately responded by Mio and Doki Doki for Keka, so 2 very strong picks in this format. Let's see where Lembo goes. It's Yang and Yellow. Revelation. Oh. He's a revelation man right here.
And we did see Keka say that, you know, he wanted to face off against Han because he didn't like the matchup of those heavy revelation users. And maybe Kalian Bao has seen that and gone, I'm just going to straight revelation this guy. The Yelly is protected, and we've seen how much of a threat that Yang can be on revelation, killing one unit, giving turn advancement. We don't know how fast these units are either.
I like this a lot. The protected Hoyan and the Veronica. So trying to bring a little bit of anti-revelation to the table here is Keka.
Yeah, learning from his fellow grand finalists that the Hoyan is the great protected pick against these revelation teams. Obviously, Veronica being another great one to bring in as well. You know, being able to cut in front, put that death immunity on. And this is heavy into the revelation now. I can't see the shells. I am assuming we are seeing a Selene that normally in these heavy revelation players is also going to be on revelation, offering some more of that big damage. And then the O-Ball coming through. Now, Keka has used O-Ball a lot. And Keka bringing out the first use of Marvel in this entire tournament.
In the beta, everyone played Marvel. And then he got nerfed into the live launch, and he's been a little bit on the back seat, but he's still very strong turn manipulation.
Definitely. Okay, the bans were the Yang and the Doki Doki. So we do have the Lily coming up as the fastest from Kalen Bao. Boosting that Yelly with the revelation. Now we do have the Hoyan to go ahead and counter that. So are we going to see the Hoyan counter and get a kill? We'll have to wait and see who he targets. The big AoE damage coming in. A huge AoE damage. We've got the Lighthouse coming out. And here comes the revenge.
Here we go, the revenge. Is it going to come through?
It does, and it lands the kill. Now we are in a very awkward position with that. We do have the immunity to death. We do have the Veronica who can reply that. We can also get the shields from the Veronica on the skill 2 as well. Now we do have the Codex, so whatever he uses, he's going to be able to reuse again.
Yeah, obviously we have to be aware that great if you're just running 1 damage dealer where Hoyan takes them out. If there are multiple damage threats, then it becomes a little bit more of a big deal. And obviously Stalins can be big threat.
Well, everyone's on. We've got the Revelation Stalins and the Revelation on the O-Ball. So we really need to deal with these guys and not let them take a single turn. Otherwise, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Well,
we do have the skill 3 coming up.
Who are we going for? Who are we going for? It's
going for the O-Ball, meaning the Stalins is about to use a Revelation attack. Now, are we going to live through this? That is the thing.
It's going to be a lot of damage. It is Revelation at the end of the day.
Oh, it is!
Oh, that's insane!
And there he goes. Keka, not a great start. Looking like he could be losing his prize money in this one.
Hopefully Kalimbao's feeling generous and says, hey, you brought a good game to the table. I'll still give you your prize money. But Kalimbao wins the first matchup here. Massive revelation picks as well. I mean, just huge damage output there. Keka's now going to cook something up for the second game.
Yeah, I have to think Keka went for that O-Ball. I can't remember where the turn gauge was at, but I do think the Selene was next in the turn gauge. Maybe if you went for the Selene, the O-Ball wouldn't have got the turn, but, you know, the Selene's managing to get that kill was absolutely clutch, because the O-Ball was the threat with the stuns on top of the damage and being an extra hit as well. So we jump into it. We do see, we have a little bit of advanced screening. We do see the pre-ban from Keka coming out on that Yang. Now that he knows that he is playing the Yang, he's like, I'm just going to ban that straight away from the start. Probably not having Yang built himself means that he wants to get rid of that as an option.
And we know that for sort of big revelation players, Yang, with a very high speed Yang, is very, very, very difficult to deal with. 6 hits on revelation, advances your entire team's turn meter. It can be really difficult. So I like the pickup here. It means he won't have to ban Yang in the post-ban and opens up a slightly different draft. Also, given the fact that Keka actually gets to get the Lily first. So that was a very impactful pickup last time round. Going to deny the Lily away from Kilimbao.
Yeah, definitely. That Lily was very fast as well in the last game. We do see the Mio counter pick and the RC77. We've seen RC77 a lot in this tournament. Someone that a lot of players may not know too much about, but because his work with Revelation, absolutely fantastic in RTA. It is a 4-turn cooldown on his skill 3, not so usable in PvE on Revelation, but once again, kind of like that Yang, they're just Revelation specialists in this current meta.
Yeah, it's looking very similar. The way that Kilimbao's playing is very similar to Youngyo. So similar kind of picks, similar kind of setups. So, you know, you kind of, that Youngyo was kind of like the poster child of Revelation gameplay coming into this this tournament.
Yep, definitely. And we do see the protected pick Keka coming in with the Hoyan, also bringing that Veronica again. Honestly, Keka played really well into it last time. It was a very close one, and unfortunately losing out. So that Hoyan definitely being one that he has to rely upon a lot, I would think, in this one. Now, I'm curious to see, do we have a Messiah or something like that? We have the Heinrich, who is a great counter as well.
Yeah.
We also have Celine's being able to cancel passive. So, you know, 2 counters to that Hoyan. It's a matter of turn order and how this pans out on what he can land first.
You imagine that Lily's going to be a focus ban here, but you really don't want to let Miho go through as well. So we'll see what Keka decides to round his comp out with. He has obviously got his Doki Doki that he can bring to the table. Also, I think no, Tsukiyomi's banned, so he hasn't got the Tsukiyomi available on the cards, but plenty of other options that he can go for. It is the Ling Luo and the Doki Doki here.
Yeah, I don't know. Have we seen the Ling Luo much from Keka? I can't remember what kind of build it's on. Is it on the immunity? Is it on the Lighthouse? I'm not too sure. And the final pick coming in is the Messiah. So we have a field of counters to that Hoyan, which is very, very threatening for Keka.
However, not much support. I mean, we're looking at basically 4 Revelation damage dealers, potentially, depending on where Heinrich is. We know that the RC-77, the Silins, and the Messiah are going to be Revelation damage dealers.
And maybe we do see the bans come in, and it's the Messiah getting banned and also the Lily.
So, wait, he's just having a look at the screen. Obviously, the Lily getting banned away. Mio, we're wondering how. I wonder how quick the Mio is. That's going to be the defining factor here, I think, is that how quickly Mio gets. It's just straight away.
Yeah, Mio moving first on this one, getting the RC-77 cutting in there. We are on full immunities by Keka, though. Here comes the damage that's going to roll out.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
No kills landed, and the Heinrich moving now on Revelation, and that is looking like being a sweep if it's enough damage.
Oh,
that's
grim.
The only one with the block debuffs landing as well, meaning that is going to be it for that game. I'm not sure if Keka had technical issues at the end there that we saw. We do get the passive proc. It is going to get a revive if it does land the kill, and it does not land the kill, unfortunately. Now, we do have this. We can land a kill on someone else. Now, does he go for that RC-77? Does he go for the Mio to stop that freeze coming out on the next turn and revive someone from his team? I don't know if any one unit on his team is going to clutch the win. You would hope for the Ling Luo so that you can heal yourself and reset from this point, but he does have that skill 3 that he's going to make a decision on. Who does he go for? He does go for the Mio, and it brings back the Veronica, and that is not going to be enough, I don't think, to clutch the win on this one. Going for the damage on the Veronica there. Okay, let's see where this one comes out, and he does drop it, and that is going to be where the game is going to be decided.
Oh, Keka goes down in the show match. Maybe Kilimbao's feeling generous, though. It was a pretty strong matchup in the first, really, really hard fought. I think he's kind enough to hand that prize money
Dude,
back.
From a massive high to an excruciating low, I don't know why he's smiling. He should be devastated. He has just lost his entire prize packet. Keka, what's happened, mate?
I'm sure he's fine. Hey, do you know what? That perfectly showed why Keka did not want to deal with a very strong Revelation player, because that was why his comp is not doing it. Anyway, we're going to hand over to Matt on the stage, ready to chat about that game.
Thank you very much, Scoundrel and Vulcan. Gentlemen, please join me on the stage one last time after that legendary battle where we had Kalimbao picking up the victory. Kalimbao, 2 questions for you. 1, how do you feel, and will you give back his money?
Feel good. I will give the money back and practice some more.
Keka, come on. What happened there? You were doing so well this entire tournament, and then Kalimbao, the best summoners world player, came in and just, that wasn't very close right there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not that fast.
Are you happy at least he's giving you back your money?
Yes, very happy.
Oh, thank you very much, gentlemen, for the show match. But that's not all the games that we have here today. We still have more to come. Stick around, because right after this break, we're going to have a couple of influencers play in a show match right after this.
We've already crowned our world champion for EWS 2025 Global Invitational, and we saw absolute destruction from Kaliapao in the legendary show match, but we're not done for today. Now it is my pleasure to invite two teams of different KOLs to the stage to present to you a glorious show match, starting off with Team Nikonana. Sei Shizo. Next up, we have Gacha Smack. And last but not least, we have Jamesma. Thank you for joining me on stage, gentlemen. Before I send you to your seats, I just wanted to ask each of you a quick word, and then I'll introduce your opponents. Starting with you, Seishizo, are you particularly fast?
Maybe not in real life, but in game, you never know.
That's good to hear. Smack, I knew you used to be a PT, but are you strong by any chance?
Bam! You know what I'm saying, brother? Got a little gun show, man. Y'all want to get some tickets? Come on up here.
Jamesma, my question for you. You smart, do you have a lot of strategy available?
Uncountable.
Fantastic. All right. Team Nikonana, please head to your seats while we grab your opponents up to the stage. But these aren't the only KOLs that we have playing in this show match today. It is now time to invite Team Doki Doki up to the stage, starting with Limilu. Next up, we have Mr. Pokey. And last, but definitely not the least, we have YDCB. Thank you for joining me on the stage, gentlemen. Let me know, I wanted to start with you. Seishizo said that he's quite quick in game. Do you think you could be a bit faster?
I have one word, is Seishizo making guide. I will make this a match, a highlight.
Not bad, not bad. Mr. Pokey, we talked to Smack, he gave us some tickets to his gun show. Do you think you could beat him in an arm wrestling match? Boom! Fantastic. IDCB, for you, it's going to be all about strategy. I mean, you've been in this industry for some time. You think you're the smartest here?
No, but I'm definitely the luckiest.
I mean, Luck's got a good part to play in it. Thank you so much, gentlemen. You may now head to your seats. Now, the way that this show match is going to work is each one of these influencers have an opponent on the opposite team, and there's going to be a theme to each of these matches, which will be based on speed, strength, and strategy. So, I'm going to invite the first two players up to the stage to kick us off with the match of speed. Seishizo from Team Nico Nana, as well as Limelu from Team Doki Doki. Please come to the stage. Now, the twist that we're going to have with speed is that these players are going to play with a chess clock. So once they input their moves, they need to hit the chess clock, which will start a timer. If you win one of your matches, you get a point. However, if you have more time on your chess clock after a match in comparison to your opponent, your team gets a ban going into the next game, including if you win the final match based on time, then you get a ban going into the strength round for your teammates. So that's where speed comes into play. Seishizo, got any last words?
I can't see my opponents. Where is he? Oh, yeah, he's there. Okay, it's good, it's good. I'm ready.
Seems to think that you're a little bit missing here, Limelu. Got anything you want to say back?
In my side, I will say, have fun.
Gentlemen, please take your seats. Let's send it back to the casters for the first match of speed.
Here we go. The Hyperlinker matchup. We are looking forward to this. We've got speed, power, and strategy. We're kicking things off with speed. I was hoping Gacha Smack was going to do a backflip. He told me he was going to do a backflip. Gacha, there's no backflip. I wanted the backflip.
Yeah, he loves a big talk, but he's let us down. Maybe we'll get it later on if he wins the match.
If he wins the match, maybe we'll get the backflip. Right, heading into speed. That is where we're at right now. Obviously, each team has 3 matches to play on each category. Each time they get a win, they get a point. But obviously, there are the mini games for speed, power, and strategy, which are going to help them along the way. A little bit alluded to on the stage just there. It was a chess clock. After you've taken your turn, you hit the button, and that makes sure that the time goes down. This is the overall match rules. Like I just said, we've got 3 players on each team. You're going to win a point. The team with the most points at the end of the full 9-game series gets the win. Minigame, obviously, as we said, each of them are individual. The speed minigame, we're going to get the chess clock where you can tap it, and if you get the lowest time in terms of time taken during that match, you'll get an extra ban in the next game. On the final game of speed, you get a ban in the power phase. In the power match, you have to crank. You're going to crank a hand resistance thing, and you can actually get some extra points in that round as well. And in strategy, we've got some cards, which we'll talk about a little bit later on as well, which help with the bans. But here we go, speed. After each move, the player is going to press the button on the chess clock. At the end of the match, the player with the lowest time wins the minigame. And again, in that third match, you get a ban for the next game if you win.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones, it's like you don't want to rush your picks, though, in favor of the chess clock. Maybe it's sometimes going to be better to really think out your picks and then just leave the chess clock and accept an extra ban. We're going to have to see. Hopefully we see some mistakes come out and the real stress of the chess clock come out.
I will say, Seishizo is, he was almost this close to getting here as a competitor. So even though he's come as an influencer, he is a very good player in his own right. And obviously, I think Limelu a great player as well. So this is a pretty good matchup between these two.
And I would say Seishizo is probably the most competitive person out of everyone at this event. He is locked right in. A little bit salty on Shine, who I think it was, who knocked him out of qualification for this top 8. So Seishizo, definitely a powerful player in this game.
Yeah, I think he definitely comes in with his head locked in. He's got a very good account. I've seen his account. He's put a lot of time into it as well. Also, he has got a lot of experience. We saw Kilimbao coming from Summoners War doing really well. I mean, there's a big history for Seishizo there. He's got a great Summoners War background too, so he knows how to kind of go into these kind of chess match style games with the pick and ban strategy with how you kind of play them out.
Also, just on a side topic about him, he did spend a lot of time in Shanghai, so he has been showing us the sights around the place also in the first few days, which we really do appreciate on that one. But definitely, I think he's just absolutely, he's been locked in since the moment he got here, talking everything anything about the game, hasn't been able to stop. He is ready for this one.
Yeah, he's really loving it, and I think he's been coaching me on how to sort of get through certain parts of the game, help him fix my accounts. So yeah, big ups to Seishizo. We appreciate it. Now going into this, how do you think they're going to approach you? What type of players do you think these guys are? Like, I'd love to know what you think in terms of what their PvP strategy is going to be.
I honestly have no idea at all, so we're just going to have to jump into it and see. But Limulu, I do want to give him a big shout out as well. Just, I've said it about a bunch of the players in the actual competition, but he's another one. He's just happy all the time, and it's just great to see those type of guys come out here, and it's always makes it a great event when you've got people who just get along and they're just happy to be here.
It's the first time I've met a lot of these guys. I met Limulu for the first time a couple of days ago. He's such a nice guy, just really kind, really smiley, always really happy to be here. He came up to me after yesterday and said, it was a really great cast. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. He's just such a nice guy. Yeah. I'm really excited to see how they do getting into this. It looks like we are now into that first game, so waiting for those picks and bans coming through. Obviously, there are actually no pre-bans in this version. You get your ban by winning the minigame.
Yeah, and when the bans come through, because it's we're doing all these minigames, it is just going to be a word-of-mouth ban that they understand. We are not going to be selecting those characters, and we have the full game up on screen for this one. We have seen Limulu get the Doki Doki straight up first up, and then Seishizo picking up the Lily and the Freya. Freya being on that Revelation, so we know what Freya can do in Revelation. Can also be super fast on that Revelation as well, so a massive threat getting picked up straight away by Seishizo.
Is that Gigabyte Doki Doki?
The Doki Doki is on the Gigabyte, yes, correct. Now, just something to note about the Gigabyte, it doesn't have the Swift Raid or the Swift Smite set, so it does limit the speed that you can actually build your characters on. And then we do get the Linglo pick up there as well on the Codex, and then the Rahu over there on the Artisan as well. We do know that the Artisan can provide some massive shields in this one. So we'll have to see how that goes. We got another Revelation unit coming out from Seishizo, so he is a Revelation player at heart.
Oh, an Obol.
And then the Obol just trying to lock in a little bit of control as well. I'm assuming it is going to be fast. It is on the Codex. We can get double stuns with that one as well. It also gives him another option to deal with some of those threats that maybe, on the Lighthouse if he does see them, because then he can just go ahead and control them instead. So really solid option there from Seishizo. He's got his 2 big damage dealers, and Heinrich is just a great pick all around.
The Rin.
We do see the Rin come out as well on the Alicorn, so being able to cleanse, but that Rin, the taunts can really disrupt as well, and she does provide some nice mitigation. And who are we going to see from this final pick? It is the Hoyan. We have seen a massive showing from Hoyan in this one so far. We do have the Heinrich, which can buff block. We do have the Obol that can stun. All things that are annoying to deal with for the Hoyan, but still, she can come through in this one and actually give us a great showing, because unlike the Messiah, the buff block stops her from getting her buff, but she can still get her revenge, which is a big thing. And there we see it.
One.
Yes, the Messiah coming out, obviously to try and counter that Hoyan play. It is something you will often see.
Not on Revelation though. Is that White Fang?
No, that is a count. That is a count. So he's going to get extra attack before he attacks. And there we go. We do see the bans of the Hoyan and the Messiah coming out. And I was trying not to say it because these guys don't know what each other are doing, and we don't want to call it early and give them the insight into who the other one is banning.
I'm glad I've got you, because my eyesight's not good enough to see the shells.
So that is a super fast Lily on the immunity as well. So that Lily getting a boost from the Freya's passive from the Bulwark, it just makes her even faster than she already was, boosting up that Heinrich. And here comes the skill 3. It's going to strip. It's going to do big damage as well.
And
then the Freya coming out, and this is going to be a very quick cleave. Now, not looking too good on the clock here for Seishizo, because he's taking all the turns. So he's honestly hurting himself a little bit by not letting his opponent play the game. And that is going to be where it's at. He's having a dance. He knows he's got it.
He's letting the clock run though, so the mini game win will be there for Limulu, so he gets the ban in the next game if we go down to it.
Yep, definitely. So she's just taking his time there.
Going to use the S3, going to reset Heinrich. Doesn't get the S3 fully reset because it's got a slightly longer cooldown, but he'll take the win here, and Limulu just claps his hands. The first point goes the way of Team Nico Nana, and Seishizo very happy about it. However, did lose the minigame, so does not get the ban in the next game.
Yeah, definitely. So he was confident coming into this one. I do know he was probably the most confident person. Like I said, he, out of all these creators, he's the only one that actually went into the top 128 to try and get into this tournament. Came so close with Shiny pipping him out. So, he is fast. He has built his account very, very strong to compete with some of the top competitors that we have.
I'll wait to see. We're going to get Okay, we're going to pass it back over to Matthew on the stage to have a chat to our guys in between the game.
Thank you very much, guys. After that match, we now have to check the chess clock. So, judges, can you please indicate who had more time here? Let's take a quick look. Cool. So, what's happened is you have 20 seconds and you have 19 seconds, which means that you have the upper hand here. If there was a ban, what would the ban be?
Let's go for Rin and then the Fire Rin.
Okay, Rin. Rin is the ban that can't be played into this next lane, gentlemen. Best of luck going into that match.
We got it wrong.
Yep.
Well, we are heading back into the second game. It sounds like me and Vulcan got it wrong. We thought that because he hadn't taken a turn, his clock would not have moved, but it sounds like they had to go to a tiebreaker. So ban comes through for Seishizo. We're heading into the game 2.
Might be an inverse chess clock. That's not the way I've known it, but hey, it is what it is. The man taking the advantage, getting the win, taking all the time, not letting his opponent touch the game, and also getting a ban in there, which is going to be the red Rin. So Lumulu not going to be able to pick up that red Rin in this one.
So we're heading into this second pick and ban phase. It is going to be a Doki lock-in with the Gigabyte again for Limulu. So not moving away from the strategy. Actually doesn't opt to take the Lily away from Seishizu, who may not have it fully built on his account. Can be difficult to get, but it's going to be immediately Lily and Freya once more.
Yeah, it's just the same pick, so we are going to have to see something change here for Lumulu if he's going to have a chance, because once again, it wasn't too kind in that last round. Maybe he tries to steal the Heinrich if he has it built. Maybe he tries to, I don't know, go for something a bit more tanky. I'm not sure what he has in his arsenal to come ahead and take at it. We do have the Codex there on the Lingluo, and then protected picking the Hoyan, but going straight in for the protected pick on the Yeli, also on Revelation, and then also taking up the Messiah on top of that. Now, I'd be curious if Lumulu takes the Heinrich, it's not a bad pick to help that that Hoyan stay protected, because we can ban that Messiah, let them do their damage, and then maybe we can revenge back, get the revive. We have seen the impact come in, and this is the first time we're seeing a Fucho today, which is another very strong threat for gapping in between your opponents, depending on how fast we are. And that final pick comes in of the Heinrich, unfortunately. So we do have two massive threats. I guess we are not playing the protected pick.
No, not protected pick. It's normal RTA on this.
Oh, I thought the protected pick was still going to be there. Okay, that is very threatening then. The Hoyan is gone. We've only got the one damage in the Rahu in this one.
To see where he chooses to get rid of the Messiah, but still the Yeli, which we know is insane with Revelation, the Freya and the Heinrich, and Heinrich doing a lot of damage with that Revelation too.
Yeah, super fast Lily with triple Revelation. It's going to be a tough one, this one.
There's the chess clock again, once again in the start. We have Lily going first. Let's see.
Straight into that Heinrich again, going to strip those immunities, but do we get the advance there? We don't get advanced enough, and we are going to be just behind, and this Revelation may do enough damage. If it doesn't, we are going to advance with the Fucho, but that is going to be it once again with another clean sweep. And there comes the extra arrow, and that is job done very, very quick.
Yeah, it's like we said, gotta put it out there. Seishizo was this close to qualifying for the actual event. He's got a very, very strong team. And we're going to hand it back over to Matt on the stage to chat to them once more.
Okay, well, you said you were fast. That was very fast. You've got one more game. You think it's going to be the same speed?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. But I want to give my ban to the opponent to ban something on my side, just to be fair. Why not?
I mean, okay, why not? So, Limilu, you're going to get this ban, apparently. What's the ban going into this match?
Lily.
Lily? All right, you can't pick Lily. Best of luck in the last game, gentlemen.
Lily is a good ban. I think that's a very, very strong ban. Takes it off the field, means he can't accelerate things super quickly. So maybe gives Limulu a little bit more of an edge here going into this last game.
Yeah, and we saw that Lily with the bulwark, very fast on a bulwark. And for anyone home playing, if you do have that bulwark set on a really fast character with some really fast substats, if you pair that with the Freya's passive does give you the extra boost at the start of your first turn, meaning you're essentially faster already. So here we go into the pick ban, and we are seeing that Doki Doki first pick again. Freya coming in, no access to the Lily, which means we are going to see a different pick, and it is going to be the Messiah coming up next for Seishizo, and it is locked in.
I do believe the Freya was very quick anyway previously, so obviously that gives a little bit of an edge. Freya also can advance your team's 10 meters and push the enemy back slightly, so that is something that obviously Seishizo has in his advantage. Now let's see, does Limulu shake things up a little bit? Went for the Doki Doki first, so let's see where he goes next.
And obviously that Freya being on the Revelation is a massive threat as well, because now we have the damage, we have the attack buff. She is so catered made for the Revelation in this current meta. We do get the Ling Luo out, once again on that Codex, meaning we can back-to-back do those big heals, but the problem is trying to get round to those heals so we can actually use them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think, needs something that's the speediest thing that you can grab, I think is what Limulu needs to go for here to try and give himself some edge. Maybe if he has a Veronica, he's going to go for the Rahu again, so he's going to take that one off the board. Survives most of the initial onslaught. Obviously, his tankiest character, but it is going to be the Yeli and the Heinrich locked in. 4 Revelation, not a Revelation on a Messiah, but 3 big Revelation users here for Seishizo.
Yeah, it's a scary one when you know that Freya is so fast as well. So maybe the Freya ban coming out, because, if you ban that Freya and you can outspeed with the rest, you might have something. We do have the Lighthouse there on her as well, coming out with the Valerian. Valerian's going to stop that death. And then we do also see the first Lilith for the entire 2 days, which is a very interesting one. That Lilith going to be able to put the bombs on, reset someone, but the problem is it's not full AoE control, meaning that someone's going to get through and attack. And we do see the... I'm not going to say it because I don't want to give it away for them, because they won't be seeing it on their screens yet. So we're just going to wait and see both these bans before we go ahead and call them out. You guys can see it on screen right now. We're just waiting to see who Seishizo decides to ban. Oh, sorry, Limulu decides to ban from Seishizo.
Just waiting for that one to come through. He does take his time. He really likes to think about this one. There are a few good options. He's going to get rid of the Heinrich. Okay. So there we go.
I'm a little bit terrified of how fast that O-ball is, but we also know that Freya is super fast as well. So let's see where this lines up and who gets the first turn on this one. It's good. I think it's going to be that Freya. It's the O-ball being super fast as well. We do have immunity on the Ling Luo, which means Ling Luo is going to be able to cleanse the team as well. The Freya damage not going to be enough, but is her push going to be enough to cut in front? She won't be able to push back the Ling Luo, so the Ling Luo should be safe to go ahead and heal up this damage with that skill 3, apply the immunities. She is on the Codex, meaning she can rinse through the healing again. So really nice to see that we are going to get that opportunity. The unfortunate thing is that the Yeli is going to cut in between and probably going to target that Lilith, meaning she doesn't have a chance to impact the match at all. And we see the big damage come out. There's one. And it's only one. We still did have the Valerian protection as well. Now we get to apply those bombs, choose who we want to reset, which is probably going to be the Messiah, I would have to say. So we're going to put all those bombs on. The Messiah is immune, though. I didn't see the immunity on the Messiah. That is a massive, massive issue for him to deal with.
Yeah, there is a big damage coming out next. So it's kind of figuring out where he wants to go with this. Obviously, can go for a relatively decent size AoE hit, but it's a very healthy team that he's looking at. So here we go.
Skill 3 coming out, putting on those bombs. Probably going to opt for, I would say, the O-ball, because the O-ball is on the Codex, meaning he will use that skill 3 yet again and provide those stuns again. Now, we do have the Ling Luo who is able to cleanse, but, just getting rid of that threat might be the option, because the others are on Revelation, but we do have the Yeli who can deal big damage regardless when she's not in that Revelation state. So this is where the decision comes in. This skill 2 will instantly explode the bond and reduce their turn gauge to 0. And he does opt for the O-ball on that one. We got the Messiah, going to use the skill 3, nothing else. Does he kill 3 units, 2 units, 1 unit? only one goes down, but it is the Ling Luo, which is our healing. Now, we are going to be able to use that skill 3 if we want to go back into a protected mode, but it does put us heavily on the back foot, especially because we don't even have a bomb on that Messiah. Now, we do have the Lilith with the capacity to, you know, luck out and get some extra turns off of her basic attack. If we see a really high roll RNG, maybe we get bombs out again and we can actually provide some impact. But we are going a lot deeper into this one. We do also have the Artisan over here on the Rahu, which can provide some shields later on as well. How big is the damage on this Rahu? We get that defense buff from the skill 3 and then some big AoE damage. How much is it going to deal? We do have a squishy team on the opponent.
Ooh,
we do land the one
damage.
kill. We almost get the Freya as well. Unfortunately, that Freya is going to get that defense buff. Also some immunity availability there. Can we get the attacks on the basic onto the Yelly maybe? If we get an extra attack, we might even land a kill. It's one. We don't get the extra attack from the passive, meaning the Messiah is going to go in and land the kill there. Now, onto the Rahu, 1, 2, survive, and he survives. We do have the health equalization, which is going to bring him up a little bit. Is also going to give you that 1 death avoidance. And we do have the Freya getting dropped there on that one. We have the big Artisan shield coming out as well. Now we're going to have to go ahead and probably finish off this Yelly, otherwise she's going to get to keep going. But we do have that massive ignore defense damage coming out next turn from the Messiah, because he does have that available in the next turn, which, you know, Rahu is stacking a ton of defense, but not to forget the Valerian still has that protection. So could see a really solid performance in this one. Problem is, Messiah also with the invincibility on the next turn that he's going to be able to provide.
He won't be able to extend it a massive amount unless he does take down the Valerian. Valerian at semi-decent HP. We'll have to see how much damage comes through. He has now got that opportunity.
He's got the invincibility from the last turn from the kill. He gets to reapply. How much damage? Honestly, not much damage coming out there. So really nice to see. Can we get a sleep? We cannot get the sleep. We do get the defense break, but he does... Honestly, not too bad. Does he get the kill with this one? I don't think he's going to kill with this one. Not enough damage, even though it was really large, meaning we can go ahead and get a bit in. Ooh. The Messiah being too quick, though. The basic attack, will it have enough? It does! And that, ooh, okay. We unfortunately have the invincibility once again. That passive, giving him the invincibility on kill is huge. Dealing no damage with that, but extending his invincibility into another turn. Can we land the sleeps? Ooh, we do not see the sleep. The skill 2 is going to have enough damage, is it? No, it doesn't. If we can change, and the Lighthouse, if we can chain sleeps here, we have a chance. You just have to press that skill 1 and hope you land some sleeps.
Oh, he's going to pop the anti-death.
I don't know if that's going to help him at all, because it doesn't offer him a chance to win. It just offers stall and lets him get lower and lower and lower. So there's the preventing death. We do get the Lighthouse, drag him back up, get the extra heal. Is he going to try and keep healing up through this one? He does put the invincibility on, extends it. Now the Messiah has the invincibility. That was the play. He's going to use his skill 1 on this one.
Now
do his sleep. No slumber.
No sleep. And the single target damage could be a lot, but obviously you build Valerian very tanky.
And we do have that Lighthouse playing with some sleep. Oh, we are not hitting any of the sleeps. Now this is probably where the game ends with the AoE from the ultimate. Going to be enough damage to go ahead and wipe it out. That was a great game. But well done to Lulu coming back after 2 really quick games and putting in a great performance.
Yeah, the Lily Band really helping him out in that situation, but a really, really, really great game. I think Lulu did himself proud there because it was against a pretty tough competition. We're going to hand it back over to Matt to chat to both of them on stage after that first series, and we'll see who won.
Thank you very much, Scoundrel and Vulcan. Gentlemen, please come back down and join me on the stage. Everyone, please give them a round of applause for the show match on speed, everyone. So, Seshiko, I want to talk to you first, because not only did you get a 3-0 there, but you managed to get 2 bans for yourself, one which you gave over to Limilu, and you've also secured the 3rd ban for your team going into the first strength match. That was quite a fast and dominant victory.
Well, definitely there, but the last match was just fun, and that's what we're here for, right? So that's why we do that stuff.
It definitely was a really close last match. I mean, did you have fun with that? Did the Lily Band help you out getting to that 3rd game at least?
My main objective was to take 1 round, not this time, but maybe the next time.
Hopefully next time. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for that first match. Please, everyone, give them a round of applause again. You may take your seats. Right, so we've completed the first of the 3 matches that we have for this showcase. We've done speed,
Now we're moving on to strength. So I'd like to invite our next contestants up to the stage. Please, Gotcha Smack, as well as Mr. Pokey, join me on the stage for the strength challenge. The way that this strength challenge is going to work is you're both going to be given a grip device, weighted grip device. The number of repetitions you can get in each game will give you an advantage going into the next. So whoever gets the most repetitions of the grip strength, you get a band going into your next game. Now, Gotcha Smack, you'll start with a band thanks to your teammate. However, on the third match, you don't get a band for your teammate going to the strategy portion. Instead, if you win the third match, you get 2 points outright, as if you got 2 extra wins. Either we will compare who has the most amount of repetitions at the end of each game. They don't add up between games. Or if you hit 99 repetitions, you instantly win that portion of the match. Sound good? All right. Gotcha Smack, you said you were strong. You still think against Mr. Pokey you're a bit stronger here?
Well, what I can tell you is, as I've been out here in Shanghai, China, me and Vulcan haven't missed a day of the gym yet. Meanwhile, Mr. Pokey hasn't been in the gym yet. I think that'll answer my, confidence for you, brother.
You got anything to say about these accusations?
Personally, I think he's just running it down because I'm conserving my strength for the match today. So bro is legit just wasting his mana, wasting his health. So, I don't know about that.
Well, let's see if it's consistency or strategy that pays off in this round of strength. Gentlemen, please take your seats.
Haven't missed a day at the gym yet, Vulcan. I went once, by the way. I went once right at the start, and then unfortunately, I've been sleeping.
You had a bit of an accident on that day, but I'm not going to tell the audience about that one. But yes, no. These two great friends as well. It's been great in the background. So great to see a bit of friendly competition. This one, as Mr. Pokey might say, could be absolute cinema. So looking forward to this game coming out on this one.
Absolutely, and obviously, as Matt mentioned, there are some rules. There are the power grip that you've got to get at 99 repetitions on the hand grip. And it's not easy, by the way. It is a tough hand grip to use. I mean,
I'm hoping they crank it up to max because we tested it yesterday. That thing is bloody tight.
Yeah, and obviously if you get to 99, the first person to get to 99 wins and gets the ban for the next pick. However, in the third game, if you win the 99 or the most, repetitions in the third game, you get 2 extra points for your team. So it adds a little bit of strategy here. Are you just going to go straight up for the bans to try and get the points through, pick and ban victory? Or are you going to go for the extra 2 points, conserve your strength, and go for a very quick 99 in the final game to get those 2 points for your team?
Yeah, definitely got to wait and see. So we see on the screen at the moment the scores and, Seishizo taking out those 3 points. Limulu coming so close in that last match, which was fantastic to see. A bit of a good game at the end there.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? I really, really hoped Limulu won that because it was just such a cool game. If one slumber landed, there was a real shot at that going his way. Anyway, we're going back, having a look at these rules. As we know, you get a point for winning. That puts 3 points in the bank of Team Nico Nana going into this second phase. However, in this one, the power round, it is power in every sense. You can win for 3 points for getting the wins in the game, but you do have those extra 2 points, the only round where there are extra points available at the end if you're able to win the mini game. So a total of 5 points available in this series. So a lot of points, and it can swing the match either way.
Yeah, definitely a very pivotal round, this one, with the only one being access to the 2 extra points, bringing up to an 11-point total available for either team to grab from. So, the boys really have to sort out their strategies. Do they want to, like you said, conserve their strength and just save it for the last round and see how they go? But, I think a bit of pride is going to come out, and they're going to want to win both rounds.
I mean, especially for Gacha, he's got the pride of being a PT. He's a personal trainer. He's going to want to make sure he dominates the power round. We are waiting with Matt up on stage with Gacha and Poke for this first match of the series. Let's see how it goes.
Thank you, Scoundrel. Smack, before we go into this game, Seishiko was able to help you out by getting a ban going into game number 1 for a little bit of advantage against Mr. Pokey. Maybe that's going to help you because he was accusing you of being a bit tired after going to the gym non-stop. What is your ban going to be for game number 1?
I'll go ahead and ban Tiamat.
All right, no Tiamat available for the first match. Best of luck, gentlemen. Sending it back to the casters.
Go here. We are ready to go here on the second game of the series, or the first game of the series, the second series in total. And Gacha Smack banning Tiamat. So Tiamat off the cards. Mr. Pocky not able to run a more defensive turn 2 team in that case.
Yeah, I think we might be seeing a bit more of the Revelation build out of Gacha Smack. Maybe that's his strategy. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, I'm looking forward to these ones. These guys have a nice friendly rivalry. So hopefully we actually get some good matches in this one as well. It looks like Gacha Smack taking the Lily first up. Lily being on Jackal, probably having access to a lot of speed. They're already cranking it, and there's no holding back from this one. They're trying to get to 99 as fast as possible, and it is cranking. Smack getting tired already on one arm and switching, or maybe that's a strategic move there. Pokey trying to sort it out as well. Checking his score. He does pick up the Heinrich on Revelation.
Wait, Gacha's done. Is that 99 already? Is that 99 in the pick and ban phase?
Okay, I think he's done well. There's no way you can get it that quick. I'm not sure what happened there, but it does look like
He was going for it. The man was a madman.
We do have Mr. Pokey's Tsukiyomi on the White Fang, meaning we probably are looking at a super fast Tsukiyomi on the Swift Raid build as well. Then we see Smack take up the Revelation Freya and the Revelation, oh no, the White Fang Messiah. My eyes are a bit shot trying to see this, but it is going to be the White Fang Messiah that he's got in there. So big damage coming out of Smack with that Revelation Freya into Messiah. But what can Pokey bring back, and how fast is Pokey is the question. We need to know speeds on both of these teams.
Obviously, we've got Tsukiyomi, so has the ability to advance pretty much anyone straight to the front of the queue if she's fast enough. So always going to be a threat. It's going to be Holden coming in from Pokey here. So we're waiting for a next pickup on his side.
Yeah, Pokey's got to really think these picks through, because you don't want to fall into the trap of being a bit greedy and stupid and making the wrong decision.
Oh, Kazuyo. So Kazuyo comes through here for Pokey. He's got the, is it the, looks like the
Kaz with the Codex.
Yeah,
yep.
the Codex.
So double sleeps available on that one. We do have the Alicorn over there on the Holden as well, being able to cleanse debuffs if he does get them early on in the game. Smack with his final 2 picks that he's got to contemplate. Now, I think we might have to rejig this and make them get to 500 on the counter, because that was way
I think
too
it maxes
quick.
out at 99, so it might just be the max. The Obol coming through here for Gacha, again with the Codex, so has the double stun available to him as well. And then we're looking for a final pick to round out his comp. So double Revelation, or actually, no, rather White Fang, as you mentioned. So Revelation on the Freya, so heavy damage coming out from her. White Fang Messiah gives him a little bit more single target priority if he wants to like make sure he's like focusing someone down off the back of a big Revelation hit from Freya.
Yeah, and that Obol being on Codex means he can also be very fast. So we've got 2 speed threats and then 3 massive damage threats, but we always see that Freya, even on Revelation, is yet again another speed threat that you can bring in. So Pokey got to take his last pick. I don't know if he has any defensive options. If he doesn't have another one, it's going to be...
Oh, it's the Hoya!
Okay,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
go.
surprised to see the Messiah out of this one, but we do still have the Obol to deal with, who has the stuns as well. So there goes the Lily off the team. I just spoiled that for them, so we'll just wait. We'll just wait.
It's okay. It can be difficult. He's going to get rid of the Tsukiyomi.
So the
Lily and
speed
Tsukiyomi.
is gone. I would anticipate the Freya, maybe even the Kaz being the
Kaz could be
fastest in
pretty
the game.
quick, yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
You tend to build Kaz pretty quick for Doki Doki anyway, so, I mean, let's just see how it runs. It looks like it's going to be the Holden.
Being super fast.
Mr. Poke is running a bit of Terramaton.
There we go. Yeah, so we can see, we know that the skill 2 is a massive threat. He gets the cooldown reduction, and he also gets the pushback, which is really, really nice. The Kaz comes out with the control. We now have the Revelation. You don't really want to wake everyone up, though. That is the problem. So the Revelation comes out. We just go for the basic on the Obol because we know he's been pushed back. Cooldown's maxed out. Now we have the Hoyan coming out, and she's going to be able to probably delete one of the big threats there. The Yelly is no longer asleep. Maybe going for the Yelly. Goes for the Obol, who was kind of locked out already. Bit of an interesting choice on that one.
But we have the Codex Kazuya, and she's coming up next again. So.
Yeah, we do have the sleeps to bring back on this one.
Gacha feeling like Muujin up there.
Yeah,
to take a turn.
And once again, we get the sleeps, but now we've got to choose who we poke into. So is it going to be the Messiah or is it going to be the Yellow? You'd think the damage from this, along with a basic attack from the Hoyan, may be enough, especially if we land an attack from, I think that is going to be enough. We can opt for a sleep over onto the Freya. Okay, we put it on the Messiah. Looks like we're going to double down on the Messiah, maybe poke into the Freya with this one, with the basic attack, just not to wake the others up. Yeah, that's the safe option to go forward. Now we can probably just completely KO. There we go, and that is going very, very fast. Smack's chances of winning this one receding faster than my hairline at the moment. And there we go. We are getting... This is a massive threat round out of Pokey. He does opt for the skill 3, hoping to kill the Messiah. If he doesn't kill the Messiah, it is
it's
gets
an
them
easy
both
blast.
down on
Mr.
that one.
Pokey, he might have lost he might have lost the power round, but he absolutely dominated in game.
Gotcha Smack having the brawn, but looks like Pokey having the brains in that one.
Oh, you could be laughing. I'm going to pass it back over. I can't talk. I've got to pass it back over to Matt to chat to these guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. You know, it's not a great outcome to lose, but the best thing about winning by, winning with the grip is that Mr. Pokey doesn't get to speak. You get to do all the talking here. So you still get a ban even though you didn't get the point. Who would you like to ban going into this next match?
Go ahead and ban Holden.
All right. There you go. Can't play that Hyperlink in this next match. All right, everyone, let's go.
All right, so Holden banned. That's an interesting one. I might have actually gone for the Hoyan myself, but the Holden getting banned by Gacha here.
I think the big threat, I think it's a good one because the big threat on the Holden is just how fast he was.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, I completely forgot that. You're the brains of the operation here. Even everything, your hairline's receding into your brain and making it bigger.
That's it. With age comes knowledge, and that's the one. But obviously, they both banned the speed threats. So next round, if one of them does happen to pick 2 speed threats, then we get to see the true speed of everyone on their team. So that's what we need to see coming forward into this one. So the Holden is banned, leaving access to the Tiamat if he does want to take it in this one and play a bit more of one of those tanky type rounds. So hopefully we can get these picks up on screen soon and see what they're doing. Now, Smack looks like he might be having an issue. I don't know if they're meant to be doing their grip strength by now. Okay, Pokey gets onto it.
Oh! His hands are hurting. His hands are hurting.
Now, Smack, I'm not sure if you're allowed to use 2 hands, mate. That's a bit of a soft option. I see Pokey using one.
Oh, is it on a harder setting? They
cranked it up. Okay. Well played, Pokey. You've got this, mate. Smack, one hand, mate. Get the other hand off. You got this, all right?
He's really going for it. Oh, Smack, I don't know if this is against the rules. I need a referee's decision about the 2-handed grip.
Smack, you're using too much chest in that one, mate. It's supposed to be a hand grip, not a chest grip. Get that second hand off. All right, now I would love to get the screen. Okay, we've got the screen up. Now we can see some picks. So we do have Gotcha Smack. First pick was the Lily. Then we get the Doki and the Tsukiyomi. So as I mentioned, 2 speed threats coming out on Pokey's team. Now we get to see the true speed of everyone in this one. Gotcha Smack then taking the Heinrich and the O-Ball, but not really looking at it, more just going ahead and...
I'm not sure this is against the rules,
Smack, you can't... I don't even know what you're doing at this point, mate. Just have
Is he saying he's done 99 already? What's going on here?
Listen, judges out the back. I think the double hand thing's a bit cheesy. Don't let him do it next round, please.
We can't see.
Yeah, no, okay, we'll take it. All right, now we get the Freya pick from Mr. Pokey as well. That Revelation Freya coming out into the Codex on the Kaz. Okay, so honestly, I'm liking Pokey in this one just because of those 2 massive speed threats into 2 massive amounts of damage. And then we also have, 1 massive amount of damage, but then we have that Codex with the sleep, which we've seen is a massive threat in the last round as well.
I will say, into hand grip strategy, they look like they were really going for it. And we've got the most important round is the next round where the points are available.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be real. I think these guys care more about the strength matchup in the hand grip than they do about the raw gameplay. But hey, let's see how this one goes. We do see the Mio coming out there from Gotcha Smack as well. Another very threatening speed unit as well. And when you see, the options like the Tsukiyomi on the White Fang and the Freya on the Revelation, they're not going to have those immunities. But the problem is that we do have the Doki Doki on the Alicorn, meaning she can cleanse, but she can still get pushed in the turn gauge. And we do see that final pick coming out from Smack of the Hoyan, who has been honestly probably my favorite character of these past 2 days in gameplay. She is just a fantastic one and provides some really exciting gameplay as well.
Yeah, so Hoyan going to get denied away from Poke, which I think was genuinely one of his more impactful picks in the last round, but he's going to go for the Kraken, one of Vulcan's favorites from beta, especially before he got nerfed, but he's still a very, very impactful pick.
Yep, definitely. So I'm going to wait for both bands to come in before we reveal it to the players. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough choice on this one. Once again, Poke having 2 speed threats in the game, so I'm thinking, unless we see a really fast Mio, that Poke is going to have the first turn advantage. We do go ahead and ban the Kaz, which we saw doing massive work, and then also the Lily getting banned as well.
I think Kaz had a pretty good base speed from what I remember on the last time round, so we'll have to see. Here we go. Now, Doki Doki in game. It is going to be Tsukiyomi going first, and Gacha shaking his head, knowing this is not a great position to be in. He can advance pretty much anyone to the front.
And the advancement comes forward, and we get the Kraken. Now, we do have the immunity there on the Hoyan, so that's a really good position to be in, considering we don't have another damage dealer. It means the Hoyan is going to be able to pretty much just kill anyone that she wants. I don't think anyone's going to have a massive stand-up against it. Maybe you go ahead and opt to get rid of that Kraken. Maybe you try and go the Doki so that they can't reduce cooldowns. The Freya isn't too much of a threat. It's massive damage coming out, but the Freya isn't the threat anymore. Do you hold on to the skill 3 from the Hoyan to kill the next turn? It's a really tough situation here.
Obviously, skipping through turns, we're going to have a hit here from Tsukiyomi.
Yes, and then the Obol is up next, but Obol being frozen is not going to do himself any favors in this one.
Oh, the
Going
AoE
for the
comes
AoE,
through.
yep, getting that in, and then that White Fang, unconventional, but getting a little bit of extra damage in on the Mio. But let's not forget that we do have the ultimate from the Hoyan, and then she can also revenge kill on one as well. So it's not done and dusted yet. Here we go. Who are we going to snipe on this one?
Who do you think you would?
We do have the defense buffs there as well, which is a massive threat. Are we going to be able to kill through it? We do kill through it on the Kraken, bringing back the full health Obol. Great for Obol because he does have the strip, converts into poisons, and then he also does have the skill 3 with those extra poisons and the stun on top of that. Looking really strong, and the thing to note is the only damage that Poke really has here is his Freya on Revelation, but Revelation is desynced from her skill 3, meaning he can't AoE Revelation on this one. Now, the one interesting interaction is most cooldown reductions do apply to shells as well, but Doki Doki skill 2 does throw it out as well, so we're going to have to see what happens. The Mio goes down, but...
Oh, he's got it.
And it does tee up. So the Doki Doki playing fun and games and resyncing that skill 3. But this is where we're going to see the big revenge come out from the Hoyan. And we do proc it. And I'm assuming we should see a kill. And we do. And we get the Mio back. Massive turnaround in the play there. We see the AoE coming out. Now, we are going to get around to the next turn as well with that Hoyan because she does have the Soul Ward. Now, in we come. We do proc it, but we are silent, so we don't get to use anything on the Obol. We're only going to be able to push out a little dot, and that is going to be it. Now, I don't know. It's still anyone's game because that Hoyan, after her next turn, is at massive threat of getting deleted. And then we do have, obviously, the Doki Doki, where she's going to cleanse at the start of hers. And also, we get the kill with the White Fang. And we got the silence here as well. We don't get the freeze. So what kind of damage can we get on this basic? Because after this one, it's not looking great. We do get that little bit of healing thanks to the count. So we got a little bit of healing back up. Now, are we going to be able to kill the Hoyan here?
That's pretty close.
I think this is going to be it. Oh! Now, it's going to be a very interesting one. This could be a long, drawn-out match because if that Mio does manage to kill the Tsukiyomi, it's going to be just a slow match. And if it does come down to Mio and Doki, they kind of both have a really annoying matchup. So this could be a nice little 15-minute match of the boys sitting there. We do get the double freeze, but once again, Doki's passive giving the cleanses. And so long as that Tsukiyomi is alive, it's just giving him more and more advantage. We're going to probably see the kill here, and it is. Now we are down to a support 1v1. I'm going to sit back a little bit in my chair. There's not too much excitement to go, so we're just going to have to slow play this. Doki going to get the cleanse every time, though. Opting for the basic attack, not stacking it up. And we're just going to have to slowly see how these two go about this one. You know, we do have the extra control. The gauge manipulation is going to be nice on that one. I can't see how many stacks Doki Doki has because I'm an old man now and my eyes are shot, but she does continually cleanse and get those buffs as well. Every basic has a chance to give her an extra stack as well. Yeah, so she is fine. And the damage amplification from Doki Doki looking like it is going to shine through, and that is going to be it for Gotcha Smack. Not going to have enough damage on that Mio to get over the Doki Doki, and the DPS Doki Doki probably going to take it away from him.
Has got the CC, but not enough because obviously the cleanse is coming through. Doesn't actually land that one this time round. Goes to the single basic attack again. Gacha's looking for freeze, but it should cleanse. It does cleanse, and there we go. The final basic attack.
That is the game. Well done, Mr. Pokey, but don't forget, we do have the strength round coming up, game 3, which is going to allow 2 extra points. And at the moment, it's looking like Gotcha Smack has the strength, but I think we need the judges to rule if he's allowed to use 2 hands. I'm not sure if that's really going to be allowed.
I need to know whether that's in the rules or against the rules. Let's hand it over to Matt on the stage to talk to them.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, I've been told that you've won the second round again in terms of strength, but points-wise, it's not going so well. You know, people bought tickets to the gun show. It seems like that's all they're getting right now. Smacks, everything okay there?
It isn't how you start, it's how you finish, my guy.
All right, so who is the band going into game number 3?
We'll pick Holden again.
All right, Mr. Pokey, I haven't given you a chance to speak yet, but you have a chance here for all the marbles if you win both the strength match as well as this final game. You've just been saving your energy, making sure these tied for the first 2 rounds.
It won't be close.
All right, it's not going to be close apparently. Let's send it back to our casters for the 3rd match of strength.
Like we said, Gacha definitely interested in winning the power round though, and he has got the ability to claim 2 points back if he wins the power in this round too. Again, the double hand technique, I'm just not sure how legal it is, but it's fine. Yeah. We're going into that 3rd game. Can he redeem himself as well? Because if he beats Pokey in this game and gets the 2 points, he technically takes the round win for Team Nico Nana.
Yeah, it's going to come down to that. Even if he does win the strength, if he doesn't have the smarts to think of a solution to deal with Pokey, he's still going to come back with the L. So Smack needing to win both strength and strategy in this one. However, Mr. Pokey just needs to win one of them to really gain the bragging rights over Gotcha Smack in this one.
And he will not let Gotcha Smack live it down if he does. If he clean sweeps him 3-0, that's I think Mr. Pokey will be thinking about that for a very long time. And he has played really well so far. You know, credit to Pokey. He's come in and he's meant business.
Yeah, and can I just say that last round was a really fun round. Once again, I think the most exciting character for the weekend has definitely been Ho Yan. She's provided some great highlights across the weekend. And Smack showing that once again, but just unfortunately, Doki scaling with her passive, giving herself the speed, the damage, and not letting that Mio land a freeze.
Smack going with the patented method of stroking your own beard to increase your IQ. Maybe we'll see
All right, the strength has started, so Pokey going with the rapid fire method. Pokey, use 2 hands if you want, mate, because Smack is using 2 hands. It looks like he's a bit scared, and I don't know if we're going to see any picks and bans. I guess we're just going to watch some cranking of the hand stress. And let's see. So I want to talk it through.
Oh, wait, Pokey's saying he's won.
Pokey's got it.
He's saying he's won.
Pokey is as Pokey. Nah, Smack. I think Pokey has got it. Smack showing, but I think we're going to have to go back to a replay on that one because Pokey seemed to claim it first. So that's going to come down to the judges. But now that that's over, the judges can worry about that. We are here to talk about the game. So let's take a look at the picks and bans. Okay, so Smack has picked himself up Tsukiyomi, Heinrich, and O-Ball, and Pokey has picked up that Doki and Lily combo again. So let's see what his next 2 picks are. He's going to have to start looking at some damaging options. He goes Kaz, which is another non-damaging option because it's not on Revelation, this one. This one is on the Codex, which is going to bring him some really good control. We saw it in the first match. That Kaz is a massive, massive threat. So definitely needs to pick up some damage. Now he is going for pure control. He is trying to be Keka from round 1 and be that annoying guy who doesn't let his opponent play. And honestly, he's in pretty good shape to have it. I don't think we had immunities over on Gotcha Smack team last time. I think the Ho Yan was the only one that had the immunity. So I could imagine that pick coming back again. But, you know, if we can see that control play is going to be fantastic, but I think Hoyan is going to be a massive threat if Smack does pick it up. So we do see the Revelation Freya coming out. Obviously, Freya giving the attack buff, then hitting massively with Revelation is always going to be a threat. Also bringing that defense buff on turn 2 as some support. We did see in the last game, Freya on Pokey's team resyncing to the Revelation because of the way Doki's cooldown reduction works. We're not going to see that for Smack, so it's going to be a one-trick pony. We do see Smack pick a final pick of the Yelly, so he must be confident in maybe gaining in the first turn in this one, unless one of those two has a Bulwark, because otherwise, if Pokey outspeeds and just locks him out, we could see a really frustrating match.
Oh, Vice.
No, he's toying with the Goat Vice. He does not take it. He goes and opts with the Hoyan, who is a massive, massive threat. Now, we do have a couple of options to deal with that Hoyan in both the buff block from Heinrich and also the stuns from the O-Ball, but we do see the Hoyan getting banned along with the Tsukiyomi. I'd imagine we're going to see first turn from Pokey, and if Smack doesn't have anything to deal with those control effects, we could see a match kind of like Keka's first game of just pure control.
Who's going first? Is the Lily that gets to go first here, and also Doki Doki pretty far advanced, so should see someone get some control down this early on. It will be the Kraken that gets to go.
Yep. Smack can probably just sit back and relax here because I don't think...
Oh,
we do get the resist, but we are going to see the Kaz come in with the sleep anyway, so... Massive, massive threat. I think the Kaz, I'd be using the skill 3 because you've got the Codex. You're going to get to use it again. So the skill 3 is going to come out. Is it going to sleep the O-Ball?
Yeah.
It does. And yeah, that's not looking too great for Smack. He is going to be locked out of this one. It's that unfortunate feeling I think everyone's done in RTA where you walk up against an opponent that has full control and you just feel like you're sitting there watching the game happen. And the thing that makes it extra painful is if Pokey actually did win the strength and he clean sweeps for 5 points.
Yeah.
That is the threat. Now, there is always the chance that we miss a CC along the way and let Smack sneak back in, because once again, when we are on those Revelations, if, say, that Yili does manage to get one turn, then it's not looking too good, but we do take her down already. We still have the Revelation over there on the Freya and also on the Heinrich, but you know, we're in a massive threat of a situation here. Now, we are going to have to wake one of them up on this turn. So, who do we wake up? We wake up the Heinrich. Okay, we can use that skill 2 to boost. We do boost the Kraken. We have the freeze available. Do you go the single target freeze or do you go the AoE, risk waking the others up and not freezing them? That's what he's got to choose. Goes the single target, lands it as well. Looking pretty safe at this point. Gets the second turn of that freeze as well. So getting completely locked out. Now we have that frozen option to use our basic into if we want to. We do opt for it on the Freya. I can see that skill 3 coming out. Do we land the freeze on Freya? We do. And now we can reduce those cooldowns once again. Smack looks like he's already fallen asleep. I don't know whether he's fallen asleep or if he's been knocked out by the pure pressure of Pokey's abilities there. But okay, he's still alive and breathing. But I don't think he's going to get to press a button in this one.
He's frozen right now. Obviously has not much damage coming out, but you don't need it when the enemy team's locked up for so long. That's going to be the second one dropping. We're going to have another skill 3 if we want it from Kraken, and he is getting, again, Gacha not even pressed a single button this game, and Poke is learning from the best, pulled out the Keka's tactic.
Poke has taken absolute lessons from Keka and produced some absolute cinema in this last match. Well done to Poke. Commiserations to Gotcha Smack. We need to see from the judges who actually won the strength test.
I need to know who won the strength because that makes a big difference to the point score here. Poke could have picked up potentially 5 points for his team in this round, which would mean that Nikonana would need a clean sweep to win in the final round of this tournament. What a comeback if it is the case, Poke. We're going to hand it over to Matt over on the stage to chat to both of our competitors to see who ended up winning the strength tournament and get some thoughts from both of them.
Thank you very much, Scoundrel and Vulcan. Please, gentlemen, join me on the stage as soon as you can. Smack, Pokey. That was an interesting battle of strength there. We know that Pokey picked up all 3 games. Smack, I've got to tell you what you've won. You have won 2 bans, but that's all you got in that match. Not the best performance, I would have to say.
Honestly, I think I started strength being late. I didn't realize it was on the table until I think he was probably halfway done. But in terms of the game, yeah, no, well played, man. I just got slapped. No excuses.
I mean, Mr. Pokey, you did say that you saved the best for last. You managed to pick up all 5 points for your team. Was that your strategy all along, just wait to the end, or really was it just fastest fingers first to get that button at the 3rd game?
Actually, I didn't really expect to do that because I didn't know that every single crowd control unit would be available. And someone just permanently made bro not take a single move. And I honestly feel really, really bad. But yeah, good game, good game.
Oh, you still picked up all 5 points despite feeling bad. Thank you so much, gentlemen. You may head back to your teams. Please give them a round of applause. But now we have finished both speed as well as strength. So only one thing left to do, which is to get into the final round, which will be strategy. Please, gentlemen, join me on stage, James Murr, as well as YDCB. For strategy, what we're going to do is both of you, now that there's no additional bans coming in from your teammates, it's all down to the games itself. Before each match, you're going to be able to pick a card, which will be Reason, Odd, or Hollow. And based on the hierarchy of what wins in the game or what has a strength over the other in the game, if you beat your opponent's card, you get a ban going into that match. If it's a draw, we'll keep drawing until we have a winner. We'll do this for each game to decide who gets that extra ban. But if you get the win, you still get the points. So, I want to start with you, James Murr. Are you feeling lucky going to this one? Because YDCB said he is quite lucky.
Yes, luck has a big win by my side.
Oh, it's great to hear that luck's by your side. YDCB, you say you don't need strategy, you've just always been lucky. You think that's going to play a part today?
Yeah, I spied his account. It's pretty strong. I'd say it's 50-50. But as a gambler, 50-50 is wonderful.
Oh, 50-50. All right, gentlemen, please take your seats and let's start the first match for strategy.
Third series here, YDCB versus James Murr. This is a big deal for Team Nukanana. They need to win all 3 to actually come away with the win. Now, I don't know what happens if we get to a tie. I have no idea. But there is a situation where we could end up with the oh, no, we can't.
No, we can't. There's 11 points to choose from. I was trying to math it.
I was trying to math it out there.
Good thing we weren't on screen because I was DDoSing there. I had no idea. I was trying to calculate.
For some reason, I thought Nukanana had 4. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, no, you're right. Can't get a guaranteed draw here, but Nukanana do need to win all 3 in order to get the win. So just one win from YDCB. YDCB would end up winning the ultimate tournament here for Team Doki Doki, and that means they get the opportunity to spin for those prizes.
Yeah, definitely. That middle round with Smack and Pokey was so pivotal, and getting 5 points is just a massive one for them.
Again, it is the same rules as normal. If they win the mini game, they will get a strategy ban on each game. Now, instead of affecting the next game, strategy will only affect the current game. So they're going to do it before the ban phase happens. What's going to happen is they are given 3 cards. It's going to be a bit like rock, paper, scissors. Instead, we're using the affinities from Etheria Restart. They will hold up either a Reason, Hollow, or Odd card, and whoever gets the win will win the ban for that game. So, a little bit of luck will be involved. So maybe YDCB, if he gets the lucky pull and manages to beat out his opponent, then he will be able to pick up those bans for the game.
Yeah, definitely. YDCB, a veteran in the space. I remember watching him about 10 years ago before I even started making content. And yes, he has always been lucky.
He's always been very lucky. Well, let's see if he is soon. Now, obviously, heading towards this first game, he did say that he had a quick look at James's account and said it was pretty strong. I think I've seen a little bit of backstage look at the account, and it is a pretty strong account. So YDCB will have to see if he has his animus to be able to match up against him.
Yeah, definitely keen to see the strategies they bring in this one.
Absolutely. We're going to hand it over to Matt on the stage for that first pull to see who gets the ban and get into that first game.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. YDCB as well as James, but before we get into this match, I'm going to need you to both pick a card. Once you're ready, just indicate to me you know what card you picked. You've got yours. James, do you have your card? All right, on 3, I'm going to ask you to show it to the camera. 1, 2,
3. All right, we have Odd being picked, and we have Reason being picked, so Odd wins. What ban would you like to ban?
Messiah.
Okay, no Messiah being able to be picked in this. Best of luck, gentlemen, for the first match of strategy. Let's send it back to the casters.
It's not going to be a lucky start for YDCB. He will lose the Messiah in this one as well. So again, Messiah kind of coming in a little bit here and there, not as prevalent as you'd expect to see from, you know, the general PvP ladder. I think most players, when they jump into standard PvP, they're like, Messiah's everywhere. But again, getting banned away from this one, so YDCB will not get his hands on that.
Does that mean we could see James Murr playing more of a tanky type setup, that he's trying to ban one of the big DPS threats? We'll have to wait and see, because once again, we don't know the strategies that either of these guys take. So as soon as we jump in the drafting, I'm pretty sure we'll get a good feel about it pretty soon. But that rock, paper, scissors format, you just got to have luck. And unfortunately, YDCB didn't have the luck in the first round.
James Murr locks in the Lily, and now YDBC looking to take all the Tiamat and the Doki Doki. So we're going to get a Tiamat in the game. Seen her a couple of times in this tournament so far, but not a huge amount. So maybe leaning towards a more defensive comp for YDCB.
Yeah, it looks like I said, I thought James Murr may have been playing the defensive formation, but he does have the Revelation, and YDCB is playing that more Bruiser type meta based on these first 2 picks. And we do see double Revelation with Revelation Freya and a Revelation Yelly. Now that Lily also is on the Alicorn, so even if she's not quick enough, she can cleanse those debuffs and get through. Same with this Veronica. She is on the Alicorn as well. Veronica really good at cutting in between your opponents.
There's the Hoyan.
And there's the Hoyan. So, you know, YDCB having this great turn 2 play that he's got available to him, and James Murr going straight in for the full Revelation plays, bringing in his second booster. It looks like he hasn't locked it in yet, but if that Tsukiyomi comes in, he is going all in for damage. But just keep in mind, we have the Veronica that can cut in, we do have the Hoyan who can revenge kill, and we have Tiamat who's just a massive bruiser threat. Now, the Messiah does get picked up, which makes me lean towards YDCB maybe banning that Messiah to stop him killing the Hoyan. And honestly, for James Murr, it's a tough ban. Like, 'cause you got the Hoyan, who's a massive threat if the Messiah does get left out. You got Tiamat, who's a threat because over there on the Lighthouse, get that extra healing, get the cut in between. Veronica also has the cutting, and then we have another unit built for cutting in between. Now, the big thing is that YDCB does have 2 damaging options. Tiamat isn't as big and bursty as that Hoyan, but if she does transform and gets on top of a game, she can really dominate the game. So now they've got to consider which bans they're going to do. We'll wait and see before they both get them, before I actually call it out. I almost got excited there and I wanted to call it. Thanks for stopping me there, Scoundrel. I got a bit too excited. And we do see the Messiah getting banned so that the Hoyan can have the plays, but the Hoyan as well getting banned. So the Tiamat could get her first big showing in this weekend.
Let's see what happens. Who is going to take the first step here? Waiting to see. It is going to be the Tsukiyomi who gets to go first.
Tsukiyomi being super fast, so we're going to be able to boost one of those DPS. I would say it'd probably be the Freya to get the attack buff to maximize that damage, but the Yelly is better to have, you know, going in with those follow attacks to really land a kill. So we got to see the main target is a very big importance on this one, because the main target can make a massive difference with those follow-up attacks.
Remember,
we see the big AoE damage coming in. The Lighthouse triggering on 2 of those units. Going to be able to cut in between, and just not enough damage to deal with that Tiamat. However, we do have the Freya coming in as well with the Revelation damage, which means I do think we are going to see the Doki Doki and possibly the Veronica getting dropped here. The other 2 should survive. Only the Doki Doki. And we do see the Bramble Rock, and the Tiamat instantly transforms, which means we have big damage coming out from the Tiamat. It's not massive because she is so low on health. Now, I don't know if she's skilled up. I didn't see a heal on the transformation, so that means she may not be skilled up, lacking a little bit of that damage, because Tiamat's damage is based on how high her HP is, and she is getting low. Now that Lily has an ability to boost here, who does she go ahead and boost? Are we going to see the boost on the Tsukiyomi randomly so that Tsukiyomi can leap in between? That's something that could be a possibility. It doesn't, and we do see the Veronica come out. Now, we are able to steal those buffs away, maybe from the Yelly, because the Yelly is the main damaging threat at the moment. We can spread them to our allies as well, and we do see it come out on the Yelly. So now we have the Fucho, who is going to be able to put that big, beefy shield that she has on, speed buff as well, speeding things up, and then her passive does start to kick in, getting that extra healing, getting that extra turn advantage. But we are moving straight into the Tsukiyomi, followed by the Yelly, who can deal some massive damage outside of Revelation. Don't you worry about that. So let's see how much damage this Yelly has. It's going to be a very telling point on this one.
Yeah, she'll also potentially be able to take away a couple of buffs. I mean, there's plenty to choose from, but...
We did also see, sorry for cutting in, we did see that the Tiamat is on Bramble, so she has a chance to revenge. Is she going to, did not proc the revenge, okay, only 2 arrows as well, but keeping that Tiamat very low is an important thing, so her damage is not as high. So we got to wait and see how are we going to get, so the Lily is next, followed by the Tsukiyomi as well. We're going to be able to use that skill 3 on the Lily, reduce those cooldowns as well, which is going to be a huge threat. There comes the Bramble proc as well. How much damage?
That's a
not
lot of
enough.
damage, but it is a lot of
Just
damage.
not enough. But the Tiamat is going to get her turn next and is going to finish off that Yelly and the Freya. And I think that is going to be it for damaging options and just about wipes the team. And that is the first big showing that we have seen off Tiamat. Apologies for getting excited, but she's my girl. She's been my favorite since 2 betas ago, and she finally gets the chance to shine.
Yeah, and it does mean that YDCB winning this means that we are guaranteed a Team Doki Doki overall victory. So YDCB kicks things off, gets the guaranteed win for Team Doki Doki. Mr. Poke doing the heavy lifting in round 2 and followed up by YDCB in this round. Got 2 more, a little bit of pride to win for Team Nico Nana, but we are going to see exactly how they feel after that. That was a pretty intense game, and you can see just how strong Tiamat can be.
Yeah, definitely a fantastic showing that Revelation isn't the only way to play.
Exactly. We're going to hand it back over to Matt on stage to chat through that game as we head into the next.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. YDCB with the win there. Might not be lucky in the first draw, but you did get the victory. So now let's go into the second draw before we start game number 2. Please pick your cards, gentlemen. I just want to quickly take a look at yours, YDCB. You want me to tell him? Do you want to tell him yourself?
I'm putting the blue one out.
He's putting the blue one out. So now you have the option to pick your card. What are you going to go with? Show me. You're not going to show me either? Okay. All right, gentlemen. On 3, please reveal your cards. 1, 2, 3. Let me see, we didn't go with the blue card. You got the green card this time, so Holo beats on. You get another band going to this one, James. What would you like to pick?
Tiamat.
Tiamat as band going into the second match. Best of luck, gentlemen. Let's get into the game.
I wondered if YDCB was playing a little bit of a bluff, but actually just went straight with the blue one.
That was my first thought. As soon as he said I'm putting up the blue one, I was thinking he was going to be putting up the red.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that situation, I would have just picked the blue myself and gone for a draw and then just maybe tried to run it that way. But he does get the win. He says, okay, I believe you, YDCB. I believe you. Trucks up to the green. We are banning Tiamat in this match as well. So it's going to change up the strategy, change up the tactics for YDCB.
Yeah, Tiamat just dominating that game. And that's what she can do when she transforms. And that Bramble is such a big thing. Those revenges can be so threatening. And as we saw, the turn she transformed, she Brambled to get the transformation. Then she Brambled after transformation in the later game. So we do see the first pick coming in from James Murr of Messiah. Previously banned the Messiah, now taking it up. And YDCB getting the 2 fast options. Now, I'm not sure how fast that Doki Doki is going to be on the Gigabyte. Not as fast, but we do have the Lily as well. But that Lily is on an Artisan. So both of those shells not having access to the additional speed set, meaning they are limited on a bit of speed. We do have the Revelation Messiah, the Revelation Yelly coming out for James Murr as well. And we are waiting for that 3rd pick, but he has got no shortage of damage. I'm assuming he's going to want to try and pick up some support here to try and outspeed or, control his opponent, because once again, having 2 speed units on YDCB's team, but neither of them having access to an additional speed set, the Tsukiyomi is a great play because that does give him a really solid chance to outspeed, and due to it being the Jackal on the shell, does have access to the additional speed set, meaning we can possibly outspeed. And now we see YDCB coming in with the Lilith. Now,
is it the Jackal Guard Lilith?
Yep, Jackal Guard Lilith, meaning can be fast, also get the extra speed boost, keep cycling through. And then we do see the Halloween over there on the Kaz. Now, in the longer matches, the Halloween is better than the Codex because you can keep reducing those cooldowns and cycle more often through a longer game. And now we see the White Fang on the Chiaki the Echo coming out. Chiaki the Echo being a great booster with the attack buff, boosting the gauge of all allies. And she is on the White Fang, meaning she's probably built fast with a double speed set with the Swift Rush, Swift Raid, meaning that we've now got 2 really fast options in the Tsukiyomi and the Chiaki, and then 3 Revelation damage dealers. YDCB rounding out his options with the Mio.
Yeah, so we have the full comms locked in here. We'll see what the bans come through. Very quick ban from YDCB. We'll have to see what Jamesma decides to pick off here. He's just thinking about it. There are lots of options. The Mio you might want to ban. You might want to ban the Doki Doki. You might want to ban the Lily. They're all quite high ban priorities when it comes to sort of the general look at PvP, and he's really thinking this one out. It will be the Mio. So Tsukiyomi and Mio taken off the table.
Yeah, and not much damage on YDCB's team. He's going to rely entirely on the damage coming out of the Lilith and the control of the rest of his team. Now, who is first? And it is Chiaki being the fastest. Going to move straight into that Freya as well, getting the Revelation damage straight up. Freya is also going to boost his team as well, meaning that we are probably going to see a clean sweep in this one. We see the next Revelation probably going to target that Lily and wipe the whole team in this attack. So big round 2 coming out from James Murr, getting the revenge, and we are at 1-1 for this round.
There we go. You feel like Jamesman, maybe if the Tiamat ban had come out and he'd known about it in advance, he probably could have been in a good spot here, but very, very, very proficient in that phase there. And that does mean that he is 1 win away from making this a very close series. 5-6 could be the end score if he gets another win. And we're going to hand it over to Matt on the stage. Going to chat through another pick and ban phase with those cards.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's now tied up 1-1 in the strategy section. Before we pick the cards, though, I want to come back over to this side of the stage. Do you want to let James know what card you're picking again this time?
Blue again. We're doing blue again.
Okay, he says he's doing blue again. Do you want to tell him what you're going to pick? Or do you just want to keep it a secret still?
Red.
Okay, he says you're picking blue, you're picking red. All right, gentlemen. Get ready. 1, 2, 3. Reese. No, both of you did not lie. So blue does win this time. YDCB, what are you banning going to this game?
Ban that Messiah.
All right, no Messiah being able to be played in this match. Best of luck for the last game, gentlemen.
And that means that Tiamat is available again if he wants to pick it this time round. That's a very interesting pick and ban phase, just telling each other what you're going to go for in the strategy.
Yeah, a very interesting rock, paper, scissors there, both telling the truth. And, you know, I thought YDCB after the first one was going to tell a bit of a lie there and get it, but, you know, he didn't even have to lie to win. And honesty is the best policy. So here we go. We get the first pick from YDCB, straight locking in that Tiamat straight away. We saw the dominance in that first round of the Tiamat. Then we get James Murr coming in with a different strategy, going with the Veronica into the Hoyan, meaning we've got 2 really solid units as well. Then we get the Doki Doki coming out again from the YDCB. Are we going to see the Lily again? No, we go in with the Fucho. So going that real strong tanky type play with this one. He hasn't locked it in yet, but if he does, it is that solid strategy that he relied on in the first one. Once again, both of those being on the Lighthouse, really, really powerful shell. Hard to get to in the Rengo Kutsu for farming, but very strong if you do manage to get it. We now see the Revelation Yelly coming out from James Murr, so kind of a balanced strategy he's got, and then bringing some control with the Kaz on the Codex. Nope, shifting it up, can't take the Messiah, that is banned. So is he going to lock in the Kaz? We've got to wait and see on that one, but I do like the Hoyan play. It offers you a little something else to go with. but the Kaz coming out, giving him a really balanced team. The one thing James Murr is lacking is speed. He's lacking that speed threat unless that Kaz is super, super fast. And now we see another sustain coming out from YDCB. So he is playing super tanky. You'd think he'd need another damaging option. Otherwise, that teammate getting banned is going to leave him doing absolutely zero damage. So I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe you see a Rahu or something like that, a Holden, another bruiser damage dealer that can carry the game, but also play into the synergies of the rest of the team. Let's see this final pick. James Murr, I feel like has to go for another speed threat. Let's pretend that his Kaz is super fast. He really wants to have something else that's fast to help him go. No, but that is the Mizuki there.
Mizuki, sorry.
Mizuki having the AoE defense buff. Someone that hasn't got too much play. She was the newest SR on the launch of the game. Defense buff, AoE strips as well. Not too sure if she's built for damage. I'm thinking that this is looking a lot better for James Murr because we don't really have any damaging options. If that teammate gets banned, we're kind of just playing the real slow sustained game.
And we know how fast Chiaki is if he went for it. He goes for the Freya though.
I actually like the Freya more. Now that you see your opponent's team, knowing they have no damage, they have no control, you just want to take as much Revelation as possible just to nuke them and get the job done. So I can imagine seeing maybe the Freya getting banned because the Revelation and the attack buff amplifying the others, or you ban the Yelly, or you do ban the Hoyan. I'm going to say I do like this from James Murr as being a bit of a clean sweep because once we get those Revelation attackers to go through, they're probably just going to wipe it in 2 turns. So let's see how this comes through. And it is going to be the Freya being fastest, followed by the Kaz. We are going to get that big Revelation damage coming out, and it does do a lot of damage. We do get the cut in there. Is the cut in enough? It is. So now we're going to get the big shield, and this is going to drag the game out a little bit further.
Obviously, there's no way of reducing Revelation cooldown like the Doki Doki this time round, so I'm going to be waiting for that to be, it's going to be off-cycle for the Freya for a lot of the game.
We are going to get the sleeps. Unfortunately for him, the Doki Doki's on immunity, meaning these sleeps are not going to stick because once the Doki Doki takes a turn, she is going to start cleansing her team. So that's why we opt for the basic attack, but, you know, it's not really going to matter too much. We could have got some extra gauge push out of it. We do have... And the one thing to note is our main sustain over on this team is going to be the Veronica with her skill 2, providing those shields. Outside of that, we have no heals, so this could be one of those long matches. Now that Freya is desynced from the Revelation, meaning she can't do that big AoE damage in the next turn, we're going to rely on the Yelly's damage.
Yeah, we do still have the Yelly, which is a lot of burst damage depending on how well it's built. We have a couple of people to go through, and obviously Doki Doki's going to be able to advance a couple of others before we get there as well. But we're just waiting for the Yelly to see how much damage she'll end up doing here. We've got the Doki Doki to go through. Maybe that'll advance the Mizuki as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that skill 2 option because it leaves the Ling Luo quite low, meaning that she is at threat of being killed, especially if targeted, which means it's going to make the job much easier. Who's the target?
Ooh.
No, the target was not on the Ling Luo. If it was, she would have been down right there. But it looks like we are going to get to recover because that Freya, even though she is on an attack crit build, I don't think she's going to be able to kill, and she's going to opt for the skill 2. So now we have probably the option to go ahead and take that shield, or are we going to strip the buffs and spread them? I'm honestly liking the look of YDCB more as this goes on. We need to last a couple more turns with the Yelly to get another big damage out because our control through the Kaz is kind of mitigated in this round. We opt for that skill 2, does a reasonable amount of damage, but the skill 3 being available means we're going to get a big heal and be pretty well topped off in this one.
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought the Yelly was going to go for the Ling Luo. That felt like the game-winning play to get rid of the massive sustain coming from her. Doesn't actually obviously land any of the slumbers, so unable to really capitalize with the Kaz. And as you mentioned, there isn't much damage here, but plenty of sustain and plenty of buffs, which means it might be a slow grind to get this one through, but YDCB looking good.
Yeah, just the lack of sustain, and once the Yelly goes down, it's pretty much done. So we're just going to have to kick back here, relax, and just wait until that next Yelly turn, or until Yelly gets knocked down. And that's got damage coming out there from the Mizuki. Meaning I don't see James Murr's access into victory in this one, unfortunately, unless we hit some very high roll RNG.
Yeah, maybe we get 8 in a row. We got 1, we got 2. We only got 2, and that is not enough.
Yeah, I'm not liking the options. We can go the the steal. I mean, if we do steal all of those buffs, that does give us a lot of healing with those whale prayers. So, you know, the longevity actually is coming out, found a way to provide some healing to the team. You know, turning that extra healing provided by Ling Luo against them and providing it to our team over there to get the heals and extend the longevity of the Yelly.
I mean, obviously we just saw Revelation proc on the Freya again, but unfortunately, as it's not a 3-turn cooldown for her ult, off cycle for her ults, the damage is really limited to the S1, which is very, very small realistically. Yelly's still on relatively low HP. She's also not the fastest in the world, so therefore her turns cycling into that whale prayer are going to be a little slower than the rest of the team. But once she does get to her turn, she should get a decent chunk of healing here.
And here she goes. She gets a turn, does get a bit of a heal up. It's still not massive. She still is that threat of dropping. But we do the basic attack, and we get 2 arrows, but we need the Revelation to have any chance. I think once he gets around to his next turn with Yelly, if he does get to another turn of Revelation, he will be using it over on the target of the Ling Luo.
This is interesting. I actually maybe would have waited till Revelation came back up for Freya. Maybe that was a little bit too long form game, but there was an option to wait for Revelation, just keep spamming S1s.
Yeah, definitely. You could do that. It would have taken another 2 turns if my math isn't failing me to get there. But the problem is as well now, Yelly is not going to be able to land the defense break either, which he did land last time. So, you know, I think this is the last chance. Next Revelation on Yelly is our last chance to gain a victory. Otherwise, it is going to be game over. I don't see another way out for it on that one. And we will have the big shields to deal with as well.
Yeah, they have come through, and you can see Ling Luo looking pretty tanky here. CC not going to land on any of the opponents, so Kazuya just not feeling like a great pick this time round. Hasn't really had that much impact on the game just due to the amount of immunity. Will actually go for the single target CC though onto the Fusho.
And if the Yelly does go down, we still have the damage of the Revelation from the Freya, but then I kind of like the Mizuki cleaning up the late game in the enrage phase of the game if it comes to it. And there we go, the big damage coming out there and landing the kill. So I don't really see a way forward on this one. I think that Mizuki is going to clutch it with the damage. I think the next target you focus down is going to be that Freya, and once that Freya is gone, there is absolutely 0 threat of damage on the opposing team, except for the skill 2 from the Veronica, but it still ain't going to be anywhere near enough to deal with.
No, and obviously because we just saw the S3 get used off cycle, we're not going to be able to go into a Revelation S3 from the Freya anytime soon either, so we're going to have to wait at least maybe like 5 or 6 turns for that to come round again, and I don't think we're going to get that far. Obviously, as you mentioned, as we get into sort of the enrage point, the Mizuki's going to be very strong. Looking at the buffs they've got, it's incredible. They do get a lot of sleeps, but Doki Doki should be useful here to get people back up.
We also have the whale prayers as well, which are also going to cleanse. There is no way to land a debuff on this team. We have the Revelation, but once again, it is not synced up with the skill 3, meaning we're not going to get enough damage out of it. We have the Revengers coming out as well, and yeah, I think we're just waiting for the inevitable to happen in this one.
Yeah, Mizuki's going to take another turn here. Again, nice punch
Down
onto the
goes
Freya.
the Freya. First showing of Mizuki, and it is coming out pretty well.
Very long form game. They're going to get a nice speed up, trying to go onto the Mizuki to stop her from taking action. But as you mentioned, there's just so many ways to cleanse debuffs at the moment. Whale prayers, Doki Doki, not an easy way. Going to get the immunity locked on them with the whale prayer as well. So again, even if the Kazuya was able to do anything, which she really isn't at this point, it's going to be very, very tough. Mizuki will just start to chip away at the 2 remaining Animus on Jamesman's side, and that means YDCB should take this final game of the series as he gets another kill here with 1 left. Veronica's the only one left available. Jamesman knows that he's done. He's going to hand it over, and that means YDCB will take another win here for Team Doki Doki, with the final score being 7-4.
Yes, massive game there. It was one of those slow ones. YDCB opting for no damaging options outside of that Tiamat, which when that happens, it means it's just going to be a very, very slow played game. And once again, he managed to live through it. I think the one thing that could have changed that game was if James Murr actually targeted the Ling Luo on the first
Agreed.
Revelation usage with the Yelly. It could have actually got the job done. The defense break landed, and we could have seen a bit of a different game if that happened.
Let's take a quick look at what happened then in our Influencer show match. So Seishizo got a very strong start for Team Nico Nana, but unfortunately Mr. Poke comes back with the second with 5 points and a pretty close final series in strategy, but it does mean that Team Doki Doki do take the win overall. Thank you very much, Vulcan, for casting this weekend with me. That is done for me and Vulcan for the time being, but we're going to hand over to Matt on the stage to round things out.
Thank you very much, Vulcan, as well as the Scoundrel. We are now done with the Influencer Show match, but before we get into wrapping up the show, I'd like to invite the two contestants that came down. Oh, why DCB? Jason was gone already. Must have absolutely devastated him in that last match. I mean, you finally won one of the coin flips, and then you won the game. You know, is that a coincidence or is that just how luck works?
I think if I lost that coin flip, I lose the game there. Because he was forced to ban Tiamat, right? Oh, that was scary.
Well, you were able to pick up the win. Congratulations. And your entire team won the Influencer Show match. So I'd like to invite the rest of your teammates up to the stage. Please give them a round of applause. Team Doki Doki. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to get right into it. We've already talked to you throughout this entire tournament. Don't even think we need to go into how much you completely demolished your competition. They've already left. I mean, let's not rub salt into their wounds right now. But you get a chance to give back to all of your fans back at home. So we're going to bring out the mysterious wheel, which you're all going to get to spin, as well as a special guest that's going to join us to spin this wheel as well. The way that this is going to work is each of you are going to get one spin of this wheel. Wherever it lands, the entire Ethereum Restart server will get this reward. Each of you get one spin, and I'd like to invite back to the stage Game Director Jack to join us, who will get one more spin to join all of you. Please welcome Game Director Jack. All right, we'll start with you, Mr. Poki. Please spin the wheel. And we have 200 Hydro Crystal. Wait! 10 Anima prototypes. Congratulations! How did that happen? All right, okay, we'll let this one slide. You're up next. Okay. Hey! A total of 20 Anima prototypes so far. YDCB, you said you're lucky. Come on, prove it to us. One Apex prototype, that's not bad. Game Director Jack, please spin the wheel for us. Is that 5? And 5 more Anima prototypes, so a total of 25 Anima prototypes and 1 Apex prototype. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Game Director Jack. Now, that is officially the end of our broadcast. However, before we go, there are still a few people that we need to thank. Firstly, Team Doki Doki, thank you so much for the amazing performance, as well as Team Nico Nana, that is backstage. We want to also thank Kalimpao, who was here for the legendary show match and won in decisive fashion. On top of that, Keka for winning as the champion of the EWS 2025 Global Invitational. All the players as well that were here in Shanghai, thank you so much for coming to this beautiful city. And for the 120 back at home, literally this tournament could not have happened without you. We know you weren't able to make it here today, but we still respect your valiant effort in the tournament. The Game Director Jack, as well as all of the production, broadcast crew, and everyone else behind the scenes, thank you so much for putting together a fantastic broadcast. And last but definitely not least, our shoutcasters, as well as our cosplayers, and definitely all of you back at home. Without you, none of this would have been possible. Thank you so much. We hope that you all have a good night.
Nothing's ever what it seems, as I was left alone to bleed, reaching for anyone or anything. I pulled myself from the dark, lonely in the dead of night. Fear became a friend of mine that I grabbed tight and tamed, a beast inside of my head. Something led me out, a very glimpse of what was soon to be, the final piece of all my fantasies. Everything I ever dreamed on the horizon now, taking hold of insecurities. The strength I knew I had inside would be my savior now. Even if I fall, this could never be the end of me. As I crawl away back to my feet, freezing cold as storm that tried to chase me down, like a phoenix rising from the grave. I was born to fly again. Thought I was left for dead, but I was born to fly again. Thought I was left for dead, but I was born to fight again. Thought I was left for dead, but I was born to fly again. Thought I was left for dead, but I was born to fly again. Can you hear the battle cry? Whispers turning your blind eyes. Listen closely, let it in, and you'll be safe and sound. Lonely in the dead of night, take my hand and hold tight. We'll walk through fire, taming beasts inside of our heads. Something led me out, a very glimpse of what was soon to be, the final piece of all my fantasies. Everything I ever dreamed on the horizon now, taking hold of insecurities. The strength I knew I had inside would be my savior now. Even if I fall,